Sydney has won it. Tom Falcon wins for the Two Dragons and the Lion. But Romeo Magical has won the derby. It's going to be Gator Nemo.
De-La-Di-Da leads it for home off the corner, striding clear from Churchfield Centre by Iman. De-La-Di-Da wins the derby.
It's getting very, very exciting. It is night 2, round 1 of the Star Sports and TRC English Greyhound Derby. We are gone to the Dogs live, and we are live from Toaster. Cannot wait to cover all the action this evening, and what a beautiful setting we have as well, with the sun shining on tonight's action. I am Danny Jackson, as always, and with me tonight in the studio, in the warmth, it's Daryl Williams. Daryl, how are you doing?
Yeah, it looks lovely out there, doesn't it? But
yes.
we know it's pretty windy already. It's going to get a little bit cooler as the night goes on. But listen, 10 heats last night, 11 more to come tonight, and I was just thinking, what am I looking forward to most? Probably all of it, but probably actually De-La-Di-Da more than anything.
I think we all are, aren't we? We've got to be championing the champion from last year. But what have we got in store for you tonight? Well, 11 heats, as Daryl has just said. They start at 6:35. We've got the likes of Arthur Cornflake, who, of course, was unlucky in the dead heat in the Irish Derby. We'll dive into that a little bit later on. Heat 14 is the one you're looking at for last year's champion, the 7:28 De-La-Di-Da. In the 8:06, we've got Bull Sports Blue, who came over here for the juvenile. And then onto the second page, we've got another 5 heats to come. We round off with the 9:34 this evening, where Longfellow makes his return, and an exciting one for Hollyhill Pad in Trap 3 for me anyway. It was a maiden derby semi-finalist for Tom Halebron. So a cracking night's action. I'm very, very excited to see who's going to make it through to next week, because of course it is all about qualifying.
It is. Listen, you want every dog you've backed anti-post to win every round, and you want to see the price shorten, and you want to hold your ticket and go, look, I knew I was right from day one. But we do have this situation, which is the greatest thing about greyhound racing, like in all competitions, that you cannot win a single heat of a competition until the final.
Yes.
I remember Westmead Law many, many years ago, the years after Westmead Hawk, who didn't win a single heat and then won the final, and that's all that matters. So qualification is key all the way through. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to make maybe a salad dodger out of it this year. Anyway, our third member of the team, I've untethered him from the desk tonight. He's roaming around. It's Joe Keneally.
All I heard was salad dodger. Good evening, Danny. Thank you. Good evening, Darryl, as well. And yeah, here we are at Toaster for the second round, or second night of the Star Sports TRC English Greyhound Derby. And what a night we have in store this evening. The defending champion is back. De-La-Di-Da comes here. But first and foremost, we're going to talk to the guys from Star Sports. We've got Karen Hughes and Martin Chapman, a.k.a. Lofty from Star. Guys, thank you for joining us again. Let's talk about last night first and foremost. A bit of a slow start, but you got back into it though, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. First few results went to the punters. It's always hard to win on the opening round, we found, so we sort of stand here with our guards up and hope for the very best. But we got a result middle of the card with proper ARS, and we stood Gary the Arb for far too much, some would say. But yeah, got on the right side, and then unfortunately for us, Ballymac Peb, the youngster, come through and turned us over. And we bet without in the last because it was very quiet. Just nobody wanted to play the short price, and Glory Lord done us there. So we left it behind. But this card tonight is a lot more betting friendly, should we say. There's not too many short ones, and we're hoping that we can do plenty more business.
Okay, good stuff, Ricardo. We'll come to Lofty. Lofty, the one that you said to me a couple of weeks ago that you wanted to try and get in the book, who's a big loser for this firm, is of course Slick Sentinel. He runs tonight. Is there anything that you want to try and take on this evening?
Tonight, Antigua Kestrel will be with the main lad tonight. Just seeing he lacks a bit of pace. His middle running is all what he does around here, and I don't think he's got the greatest draw. I thought about 11 or 10 5 to 4. I think he'll be bigger than that, but he's the one I really want to lay tonight, yeah. But was forced to pick one late, but it's more competitive tonight, as Khan says. Looks a real punters, bookmakers cards, you know, plenty of race, you give plenty of dogs a chance in, so all being well, we can get last night's only small losses back, but we're still chasing last night's losses.
Guys, thank you very much. We'll talk to you throughout the evening. Look, I hope you get beat. Of course we do. We want the punters to go home happy, but we'll come and talk to you throughout the evening to see how you are getting on. There we have it. We've heard from the bookmakers as well. We've got a cracking night in store. I will need Hobbsy's scarf and hat later on. We need to try and find him, see if we can get it, because it's going to be a bit windy and a bit blowy out here. But Danny, let's get the racing underway.
I cannot wait to get the racing underway, and I cannot wait to see this lad, the champion from last year. Shall we relive it?
Let's fly, they're off. King Memphis last away. Churchfield Sid goes straight to the front. Race to length up to La-Di-Da. Boyle Sports Bob on the outside from YI Man. Ballymac Gizmo and King Memphis is last as La-Di-Da hit the front onto the far side. Went 2 lengths up on Churchfield Sid. YI Man the rails. Boyle Sports Bob staying on from Ballymac Gizmo. King Memphis no luck tonight. La-Di-Da leads in for home off the corner. Striding clear from Churchfield Sid and YI Man. La-Di-Da wins the Derby.
Incredible. I was here as well. It was my first derby that I actually enjoyed at the track, and it was sensational. I was next to the La-Di-Da boys as well.
For you to say.
I know, I was that excited, Daryl. But yeah, I think it was a thrilling race last year. Gutted for King Memphis, of course, because he was the favourite going into it, and they've got to be so good for so long. Do you think, actually, that a dog can go and beat him? Do you think Bocco's Diamond could go and beat him through it?
Well, of course he can. I mean, to retain your crown, you're up against, I don't know what the financial was now, but, 160 plus, whatever it was, rivals, all of whom are trying to do what you did last year. But to win it once gives you that chance to win it again. And I stood on the terraces last year, and we had a great view, which you can get here, of course, at Toaster. It's one of those places you can come on Derby Fine Night, you find your spot, and your eyes are fixated on the traps, and you watch the box open, you watch King Memphis, and you think, oh my goodness. And then we were watching Liam Dowling in the closing stages when he thought he'd won it, and he was flying up like an absolutely crazy man, knowing that he was moments away after all these years of trying to win the English Derby. Was about to happen, and we were sharing that moment. I mean, I was watching the race, but I was just watching Liam as well. Yeah,
your eyes were definitely drawn. He was whirling around.
Yeah. And that's what it means.
Yeah,
that's what it means.
It does, and I think if La-Di-Da didn't have a chance, he wouldn't be in this year's Derby. So we'll see him later on. But now we're back off to Joe.
Thank you, Danny. I feel like I've seen this man about every day for the last year or so. Well, I'm delighted to be joined by Tom Hilbron, who had 8 runners in the start of the Star Sports and TRC Ground Derby. Got one through last night, Tommy Droopy's Buckham. We'll come to him in a minute. But first and foremost, 4 runners tonight. Just talk to us quickly about the 4 runners. You start with who?
Optic Pharaoh. He's a nice dog, but he's not hitting the box at the moment. But he's got plenty of pace. If he comes away, he should be in the race. We've got DJ Rock at the race after. He's just a raw pup. He's got plenty of pace. He trialled well enough round here, so fingers crossed he can come away. But if he doesn't come away, you're going to struggle. Later on, we've got Brinkley's Louis. Got his box. He'll get his box every week. He's a wide runner.
Is he the lunatic?
He's the lunatic. Yeah, he's like a coiled spring. But he's got pace. If he comes away, he could run into a qualifying position, and we finish with Holly Hill Pad. And he's the type of dog who, I think he'll go all right. He can do it from the front, he can do it from behind, and he stays all day. So
I fancy him tonight. I think the race will suit him, to be fair. Holly Hill Pad. And just talk to us about Droopy's Buckham. He, of course, qualified behind JT Craze last night. He's come off okay?
Yeah, he's come off well. He ran really well. I mean, JT Craze, he stays all day long, and we were putting holes in him, I think, coming home. So I think if we got up the rail early, earlier than on the 4th bend, we probably would have been thereabouts. But I was happy we're through. He should come on every week, that dog. So I'm happy with him.
And you'll be here tomorrow. We can get some Jason. I think Jason's here tomorrow. So we'll get Jason to talk to you tomorrow. All the very best tonight with the 4 that you've got through. See if we can make it 5 out of 5, shall we?
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Yeah, we spoke to Tom on the podcast. He's actually on the podcast in the studio next Friday, so do look out for that on the YouTube channel. But Tom, he's an up-and-coming kennel. Was at Judgment Night. He did a cracking job at Judgment Night, and he just seems to be able to get dogs out of boxes when it matters.
He does. I mean, that was, the great Charlie Lister's thing, wasn't it? Come the final, Charlie could get them out, and I suppose in a way Mark Wallace has done that in the subsequent years. But I was just looking at Tom's team. So 1 qualifier last night, 1 runner, 4 tonight, 3 more tomorrow. That's a team of 8. There's not many trainers who have got more runners in the Derby. For the record, Maxine Locker's got the most, 11.
Oh, wow.
But, to have 8 in the Derby, that's a big team, isn't it? A big team, and they can't all win it. They're not all going to be there in 2 or 3 weeks' time. But, if you can get, 6 through, 4 through, go from there, see where you are when we get to maybe the quarter-final stage.
Because I know he said that Droopy's Buckham is the one that he thinks is going to be his biggest chance to go deep into the competition. And he's through, so that's 1 from 1 so far. We'll see how he goes for the rest of the night. But we're going to have a look at Daladi Dar's rivals this evening, because he's in Heat 14 at 7.28. He's going to be very short on the inside. He loves box 1. 4-7 favourite, 9-2 for the other boss, 8-1 for Gunslinger and Druids All Go, 10-1 Clona Curly and Fruity Tuxedo, 20-1. There'll be a few bets for him. Daladi Dar, 4-7. Daryl, I mean, you just said to me off air that he loves the red jacket.
He does. It's a great record. It's 9 from 13, I think, with Irish form taken in. I mean, he's not had a lot of racing this year. I think he's only run a couple of times in the Easter Cup. You know, he's had a long time off, but Liam would have planned this, wouldn't he? This, you know, it's all about this. It's all about this defence. Yeah. Everything else. I mean, beloved to have got through to, you know, latter stage of the Easter Cup, for example. But it all comes down to this competition. So the trial is absolutely fine, isn't it? From the other week, 28.82. You take that every day of the week, and we go again. I'm sure if we were to talk to Liam, I'm sure Joe will at some stage. Yeah. You know, it's not about flashy times and winning by 10 lengths now. It's about being there, not next week, not the week after, but hopefully in whatever it is, 5 weeks' time. But yeah, he'll be geared up and ready to go. Yeah, and he's got a nice setup. Yes, there is a bit of pace around him, but you can't have everything. But he's got the red draw. I mean, what would he be? He's 4-7 to win and be ridiculously short to qualify. And and that's all we kind of really want, don't we?
Oh yeah. Right, I tell you what we're going to do next is going to go back to Joe, because we've got Keneally's Crackers, or are they going to be Calamities? Joe, talk us through them.
Yeah, thanks, Danny. We had a decent night last night. 7 out of 10 we managed to win with last night, and we had the nap and the next best. We're trying again this evening, so we are going to try again. We've got Keyfield Goose as the next best, who runs later on in the middle of the card, and the nap is Romeo Empire. I have backed him at 66-1 for the Derby. I think he looks a good thing tonight to win the race. He looks a bit of a match with Ballymac Lucia, but as long as he can come away and get a clear, and I think he'll win. And just down the card there, Ballymac Axel. Start the mixer. It's a tricky enough race for Start the Mixer. Balnabola Jim, Daladi Dar, Romeo Steel lead all the way. Keyfield Goose, as we mentioned, the next best. March on Freddie, I think we'll see the best of him tonight here. Dynamic Force, Romeo Empire, Scooby the Boss, a massive gamble today. He's been the best back dog of the day, Scooby the Boss. And finally, Holly Hill Pad. If we try and get 11 out of 11, it'll be tough, but we'll do our best.
A little lacquer there for Keneally's Crackers at Toaster this evening. Now, we do have naps from the team as well. I am with last year's champion, because I need a winner on the board. Daladi Dar in the 7.28. Joe, as we've mentioned, is Romeo Empire. Hobbsy, he'll be back tomorrow. He's with the same dog. Daryl, Baypoint Harvey for you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel as though maybe I should have just gone with a good solid one as per, but I like this Greyhound. It's a Graham Holland Greyhound, and, you know, Graham had 3 winners last night. They always seem to be primed for round 1, and he's progressing. Yes, there are, you know, I could argue, or people could argue there are stumbling blocks potentially with Romeo still in the race and Baggio's Coyote drawn in 1, but listen, 406, 407, 408 splits the last 3 efforts. Nothing wrong with that at all. Get a run, and hopefully I'm on the right ticket.
Just needs to get out the boxes for Point Harvey in the 7.46. And Ashley Williams, he'll be sorting out all of our social media stuff tonight. So if there's anything you want to see, do get in touch via @GTTD Podcast. Bit of a mouthful, but you'll find it. Scooby the Boss is his nap of the night, and one that's been very well supported. Now, I love the Greyhound Derby. It's one of my... It is the highlight of the year, isn't it? 6 weeks of the best canine action.
But you know what? I always think... I mean, I love horse racing. You love horse racing as well. Yes. So the Epsom Derby, how long does that last? 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
2.5 minutes. It's all the build-up, and it's over in 2.5 minutes. The Greyhound Derby lasts 6 rounds, 5 weeks.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I mean, you know, there we are, compare like with like, but... yeah, it's what it's all about, and I love the fact, of course, that look, you could pay to put your horse in the Epsom Derby. I mean, it costs you a lot to go through the various stages to get to the gig. You pay £250 to put your Greyhound in the Derby. There is nothing to stop you doing that. There's no limit on numbers. I mean, when we go over 192, everybody gets a bit wobbly as to what happens. We didn't get near 192 quite this year, but you could have a dog that's running A9. But if you want to put your money in and your entry fee, you're quite entitled to do that. And that's the great thing about it. It is an open entry. You and I could own a dog. Maybe one day we'll own one together. I don't know.
Yes.
Who knows? Maybe as the team we could own a dog. That's for another day. But yes, you could be in. You could be in, and you might not get through in the first round, but maybe you will.
And if you do qualify and you get to the second round, third round, like we said, you only need to qualify. Right, here we go. On parade for our first heat of the night. It's heat 11. And the first dog up is Arthur Cornflake, who was, popped into the Irish Derby, got to the second round and was unlucky in a dead heat there. But he is for Pat Godfrey, owned and trained Arthur Cornflake. There's trap 2, Missile 1. He was 4th in the Coral Olympic for Seamus Cahill and the Walshes. He's at 4-1 as it stands. Trap 3, Optic Pharaoh, 2 from 2 in Ireland, and took to toaster, I thought, in the maiden derby for Tom Halebron. So that's his first runner of the night. We've heard from Tom already. Trap 4, Racket Hall Brutes. I know that we spoke to Emily yesterday and they weren't quite sure what to make of this lad at the beginning, but he seems to be doing pretty well now, and he was second in the Monmore Puppy Derby for Mark Wallace and the MWD partnership. Trap 5, Ballymac Axel had a tilt at the Conan Memorial over in Ireland for Maxine Locke, who's got all of hers through so far from last night. And trap 6, New in Benny, the Sussex Cup winner, but he's only lightly raced this year. However, he's in good hands with Derek Knight. So that's your full 6 going through to the traps over the 500 metres shortly. Favourite trap 5, Ballymac Axel. He's the one I like as well, and his trial time was pretty decent, Darryl.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I mean, he's still quite young, isn't he? He's just turned 2, just out of puppy status. He's not run since contesting the final of the Northern Puppy at Newcastle in February. So a little bit of time off, but Maxine, you know, doing so well, as you say, all 4 qualified last night, and no reason why this Greyhound certainly won't qualify. May well go on and win. Drawn a bit deeper than has often been the case. The trial was good. Yeah, 7-4, solid enough in the market.
Now we're going to hear from Graham Holland, who was speaking to Hobbs 8 last night.
A little bit of a tardy start and a little bit of a bump out the second bend. A good dog behind him that stays well, so happy days.
Happy days, yeah. I mean, you look over that race in the next coming days, obviously after the rest of your team running tonight, and analyse it?
Yeah, I had a quick look now. Look, it's all about qualifying, really. You know, like after last week, he needed the race. Well, a couple of weeks ago, he needed the race. Just pleased to be there again. He's shown that he's okay, really. You know, after doing a few mistakes here. You know, no, we're happy days.
Is it too early to even contemplate or think about what's the seeding situation? There has been suggestions out there that he could be a middle seed, but you're going to keep him out wide?
I'm going to keep him out wide. I think the traps are too narrow here. There's only 6 inches between each box. It brings the dogs out in a bunch, and if you get in the middle of them and you've got a dog that comes out right or whatever, if you're in 6, you can make your own way down. And he's a clever dog. He doesn't try and come across dogs. He proved that with proper ARS, and he can find his own way around because he's got enough brain.
Yeah, that was Graham Holland, of course, speaking about Bocco's Diamond last night. And we are now delighted to be joined by Patrick Janssens and Keith Allsop, owner of Slick Sentinel and trainer of Slick Sentinel, as well as 4 other runners tonight. Patrick, talk us through your 5 runners tonight.
Yeah, first we got Romeo Steele. You know, he has to lead the win, really. He's very pacey early on. He's not the greatest trapper, but he's done a very good trial. And, yeah, fingers crossed, if he can get to the front, he'd be hard to beat, you know what I mean? But if he don't lead, I think he struggled to qualify. That's the sort of dog he is, but he's in good form and everything. And then we got Fabulous Area. She's in a very hard race. She won a trial stake very well. She's very pacey, but if she can lead, she can do well. She could qualify, but if she don't lead, I think she struggled in that race. And then we got Slick Sentinel and Romeo Command in the same race. I think Slick Sentinel's very well drawn, with nothing in 5. He'll have to lead, you know what I mean? But he's coming on all the time from his trials and everything. And he won his trial stake. He faded at the end, but the dog who was catching him that time come out. He come out and won as well. So his form is quite good. But Romeo Command, he's in good form. I thought he done very well in the trial stage, showed a lot of pace, got a bit crowding at the first bend, but hopefully he can qualify. And then in the last one we have is Romeo Empire. You know, he's very well drawn. Yeah, he's a very strong running dog. Yeah, he's in good form.
I've said, and it's a bold statement, he'll win the Ledger this year.
And that's a very bold statement. I've never known so many good stayers this year, like what Mark Wallace says and everything. So, no, but his future is definitely going to be 6 bends, and he has the four-bend pace to you know what I mean. He probably lead over them sort of trips, and yeah, I can't really wait to step him up. But I still think he could do very well in this derby. Do you know what I mean? Because once he comes down the back straight, you got to change the gear, and that's what you need in the derby.
You've got a very strong team this year, Patrick, haven't you? Of course, with Droopy's Plunge still to come as well. An extremely strong team you've got. Yeah,
and Banting Bear, he's tomorrow as well, so he's the current track record holder. And, you know, like last night, Romeo Tomcat flew on a Stormer. You can see still how immature he is. He don't know how to go by. I'm not saying he could have gone by, you know what I mean? But you can see him at the third bend sort of hesitate, inside, outside, you know what I mean? And then the Droopy Stray Dog, he had 3 races for John Lenihan, and he had 3 races for me. That was his 7th race in his career, and he won the first round of a derby. Yes, the time wasn't that great, but the dog is so immature, and he's a repeat mating from like Sentinel, and I think he'll be better in 6 months' time.
And Keith Allsop, Star Sports keep telling me that Slick Sentinel is their biggest loser in the book. Is that anything to do with you?
Only a little bit, but let's hope it is.
Confident tonight?
Not confident, just hopeful, to be honest with you. Well, like Patrick said, he's well drawn, no to the inside. As long as he comes away and gets a clear run, he'll have every chance. But look, we'll take third every day of the week till we get to that final. That's what will do us.
And you've done it together. I'll ask you both quickly. You know what it's like to win a ground derby. You've done it with Thorn Falcon, of course. I'll come to you first, Patrick. What was that feeling like when you went over the line in front?
Never had that feeling since.
I want to feel it again this year, Keith, as the owner. It doesn't get any better than that, does it?
No better. There's no better feeling in life.
Guys, all the very best tonight. I can get all of them through, and a big night tomorrow as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, they are out ready for heat number 12 of the first round of the Greyhound Derby 2025. We've got Track 1, Start the Mixer, who's a maiden in open races, but connections do think a lot of him. Track 2, Dearjet Rocket at 7-1. Was a bit of a magnet for trouble in the gym crack, but he is only a puppy at August 23. Track 3, Hope's Oompa Loompa at 13-8. Likes it here. Is currently 3 from 5. Track 4, No Better Feeling, was second in the Puppy Classic for Iffy Trap and Esther Driver. He's got 2 in here. Kevin Boone has Farney's Wexford at 25-1, who faces a tough task, I think. And 6, Ginger Shelby has the draw at 4-1. Is a consistent graded performer at Hove of late for Patrick Brown. Now, we are going to have a look at Hope's Oompa Loompa in action, Darryl.
Yeah, this is coming out of Track 2, isn't it? Decent enough split, 4-1-5, just able to sort of squeeze her onto the first bend. And Esther Driver's Greyhound's probably been one of the best back dogs of the day, and you can see why, because he does run Toaster really well down. He's won 3 of his 5 starts around here. I mean, he's not had a huge amount of racing. He's been off since the end of March, and there have been gaps, you know, between sort of November and March before that. So maybe there have been a few issues along the line, but when he's right, he's good. It's hard to gauge what we expect of him going into this race, or at least it was. But then the markets opened this morning at 4-1, and look at the price now, 13-8. So the confidence is sky high for Paul Salas and Esther Driver.
Now, what I will say is apologies if you did lose us for a brief spell. We are now back on YouTube, so we just had a couple of tech issues, and the gremlins have been ironed out. We've chucked them out of the system, and we're ready to rock and roll once more. So thank you for being patient, and welcome back to Gone to the Dogs Live, brought to you here by Bet Goodwin this evening. So we're almost ready for the next. What I will say about Hope's Oompa Loompa, when he's had breaks, he's come back and won off the back of most of them. So I think he's a dog that does like to go well fresh. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating, I suppose, for Esther that she's got 2 of her team drawn in the same heat next to each other. No Better Feeling at 4-1. Ginger Shelby is much shorter than the price this morning, and I'm putting that down to the fact now we've seen another Trap 6 win. That's now 4 6s. So, you know, is 6 the box at Toast this year? I mean, we weren't saying that 2 or 3 years ago, were we? Far from it. But, yeah, money for Ginger Shelby.
I think we had 3 6s last night, didn't we? So the Trap Challenge certainly is heading in the stripe direction at the moment, but we've still got a long way to go. So, Track 3, Hope's Oompa Loompa is the favourite here at 11-8, well backed. So I'm with Start the Mixer on the inside at 7-2, 4-1 for No Better Feeling, and we're ready to rock and roll. Here's PL.
Chris checks him over, wave the flag, all facing the right way, and the hare is now on the move. Hare runs then, stand by. and we're off and racing, and a flashy break from Hopes and Palumpa. Early pace up on the outside from Ginger Shelby to challenge. Meeting the sandwich there was No Better Feeling, but he's tough and he's gone round in front. No Better Feeling then has a length lead from Ginger Shelby, who's handy. Then in behind these side by side is Hopes and Palumpa and Farney's Wexford. At the back of the pack we've got Dear Jet Rocket and Start the Mix, who can't get into the contest, turning for the judge, and it's 4. He's kicked again, booted clear. No Better Feeling, yes sir. 4, 3 and 6 the qualifiers there, with Hopes and Palumpa back in second, Ginger Shelby in third.
Well, Esther Driver will be happy. 4, No Better Feeling. I'm not sure she was expecting them to be this way round, but 3 Hopes and Palumpa in second and 6 Ginger Shelby back in third. Cracking start from No Better Feeling, and that's winning the race.
I thought a good start from Hopes and Palumpa, and I just wonder whether actually maybe No Better Feeling has maybe just denied the kennel mate the chance going to the court. It'd be nice to see it again, actually. Here we are from the boxes, because 3 gets a good start, marginally ahead, and then 4 great pace up, as you say. No Better Feeling. You think 3's going to squeeze round. I think just took a bit of a nudge there from the kennel mate, No Better Feeling, and yeah, suddenly Hopes and Palumpa's under a bit of pressure. Ginger Shelby moved up. The money had come for Patrick Brown's Greyhound. But I guess if you're Esther Driver, you've got one eye on the dog in front. You're thinking, where's Hopes and Palumpa? And safely securing qualification back in third. The others really never got into it.
No, I think the puppies, or certainly the youngsters, Start the Mixer and Dear Jet Rocket, they took each other out at the first bend, and we'll see the head on here as to exactly what happened.
Coming out.
Yeah, he's not quite got the best start. 1 and 2, I mean, 1, Start the Mixer, doesn't want to be in the red jacket, that is for sure. Neither does 2, Dear Jet Rocket, maybe, but not sure if he's just been worried out onto the wide outside. But those 2 have definitely not done each other favours. 3 and 4 have got up to the first bend, and like I said, I think we've just missed on the head-on this bit here, where they were just slightly troubled. But great run from No Better Feeling, and Hopes and Palumpa's done a load of running late doors.
Yeah, and given, as you say, you know, good record after a break. He hasn't had a lot of racing of late, has he? No Better Feeling, you know, where's he drawn? He's drawn in 4, he trialled in 1 twice over, so it's probably not where he wants to be. And you know, when you've got 2 in the same heat, I think Esther's got 3 dogs, hasn't she? She's got 1 later on in heat 20, Quills Quids. That's her team, or her and Paul's team. And amazingly, you've got 3 dogs and 2 in the same heat. But all's well that ends well, as they say.
Indeed, because they are both through. So we'll hope Esther Driver can get all 3 through to the second round. But we're going to wait for No Better Feeling to head on to the winner's podium. And then Joe will be interviewing the delighted connections of our 12th winner of the Greyhound Derby this year. I still can't believe that I'm here, to be fair. We're covering all the action. It's absolutely sensational. Best time of the year. I'm like a kid at Christmas. I used to come alive on X every year for 6 weeks, back to sleep again, and then I'd come alive again at the Derby, because I'm not social media savvy anyway. May as well have another look here, because, I mean, you just can't get enough of this, can you?
Farley's Wax has tried to move up, threatening down the far side for Kevin Boone, but it was a relatively short-lived effort, because Hopes and Palumpa is about to pick up strongly to book third place. And as you say, both the 2 dogs on the inside, Start the Mixer, Dear Jet Rocket, they do not want to be drawn where they were drawn, particularly Start the Mixer. And I'm afraid to say, and you know, you have to say every heat, don't you, their derby is over. But there's always the plate.
There is.
There's always the derby plate, of course.
Yes, and that is another prestigious competition, really, isn't it?
Plus other supporting competitions. I mean, the good thing about this, if you think you've got your dog as you would do prime for the Derby, you take an early bath, hopefully you get into the plate. If that doesn't work, you find a race on finals night that hopefully you've got a chance of winning.
Yeah, there's loads, isn't there? You know, there's the puppies, there's the Champion Stakes, there's the Juvenile Classic that was last year. I'm trying to remember them all now. The Durando, of course, which rounds off the Derby, last race of the night. So yeah, it's you've definitely got chances to win on Derby final night if you do get, like you say, an early bath. I think it was there, Darryl.
Yes, yes.
They are just popping him on to the winner's podium. Jim Tate there, a busy man at Toaster, as we go to an even busier man, Joe Keneally.
Thank you, Danny. And here is Diane Wood, Kenland 4, Esther Driver, picking up the trophy. We'll just let the last few pictures be taken, and we'll go and have a quick word, as my father, Mick Keneally, General Manager, does give the trophy to Diane, as we now join Diane. Diane, just stay there for 2 secs. We're going to come to you. Congratulations. Brilliant run.
Yeah, it's not bad. We've laid him off this year. Went to Cat Ones last year with him. Just swapped kennels with him. Went to Paul and Esther. And just gave him 5 runs this year and just kept him fresh and kept him ticking over.
And he's obviously shown as well. He's versatile in terms of the draw. He can do it from 4 all the way to 1. Really is where we've seen him at his best. That's a brilliant run tonight, and you must be thrilled to get both through as well. Esther must be delighted to get Hope's Umpa through as well.
We was a bit worried with the draw because
Never nice getting 2 in together, is it?
And they're both railers, so that doesn't help. He has been running out of 3 at Nottingham. So he has been steering a middle course once he gets clear of dogs and then coming back on the rails. But, you know, this is my baby, it's my pride and joy, he is.
Oh, you must be so thrilled.
Yeah, I mean, back end of 22, my husband got cancer. 23, we got rid of the dogs. And then when it was all clear, I went out and bought this. He's done us proud. So, you know.
There's no better story than that. Diane, honestly, congratulations. I'm so pleased for you. Good luck in the draw on Sunday. But you've still got Quill Quids to come as well for Esther.
Yeah, we have. I mean, he was more of our 3rd string. I mean, obviously, we didn't want these drawn together, but we did. But, yeah, hopefully he'll run okay as well. So.
All the very best.
Cheers.
Go and get that dog a drink.
Cheers, thank you. Thank you.
There's always a story in the Greyhound Derby, and no better feeling. I'm championing him to go quite far now after hearing that. 29.32, 7-2 was the winning price. Trap 3, Hope's Umpa 13-8 favourite in 2nd, and Trap 6, Ginger Shelby, 7-2 was in 3rd.
Bet Clever, Bet Goodwin, proud sponsors of Gone to the Dogs.
Now here was one of the highlights of last night, the 2nd fastest time of the evening, 28.91, recorded by Cheap Sandwiches, who's not probably a Derby named dog, but he's done the business in round 1, Darryl.
Yeah, there are people up there who say, you can't win a Derby with a dog given that kind of name. Oh, you can, because he ran so well in the Irish Derby. And I do think he was underestimated after what he did in Ireland, and, you know, he was 20-25 to 1 for quite a long time. This is a great run, so late in the night. I mean, we know how cold it gets here at Toaster, even in May, ladies and gentlemen. 28.91, 5s on. I'm not quite sure about that, bookmakers. Come on. But, I mean, they were right, because he's won very, very impressively. And he was one of those that did lead all the way. And we were talking about this in the preview programme. Lots of different ways of winning last night, which is good. You know, it's not just about who pings quickest. 8-1, though, now.
Unreal. I mean, he was 10-1, 12-1 yesterday, so he's been clipped 4 points by the sponsors after laying out his campaign last night. And Bocco's Diamond, I mean, he's 7-2. He's not really budged, to be fair. Proper Heiress has been pushed out a point after finishing 2nd yesterday to a very nice puppy, I thought, in Droopy's Aladdin. We're still yet to see Bombay Pat. Deladi Dar is tonight at 20-1, and there's bigger prices for the remainder as we go back to Joe.
Thank you, Danny. We are joined by one of the very best in the business, Pat Buckley. His entourage are behind us, but they're all camera shy, so they've all just stepped away from Pat here. Pat, thanks for joining us. Over again for another year, but a different kind of team this year. A lot of young pups who you think a lot of.
Yeah, Joe, listen, we wanted to support it. I suppose, yeah, young, but pacey. And the bitch tonight, Singing Along Molly, hasn't been around. She's never been around because she was in the final of the Ladbrokes last Saturday night. She ran real well, so we're just giving her, if she gets around tonight, we'd be hopeful she'll improve a lot.
And in the next race, you've got Ballinabola. Jim, again, was behind in a decent race last time behind Ballyhooly Bruno at Shelbourne, 32.67 in that race, over the 600 yards. This should be tailor-made for him.
Yeah, he should run well. He's coming back from an injury. He's probably not right yet. He'll need another couple of runs.
And you've got a very exciting young puppy we were talking about yesterday, Clona Ice.
Yeah, Clone Ice is very, very pacey dog. Sees him wide, I think middle to wide is a middle to wide runner. I only had 3 races, so very likely race. Very inexperienced, so we're hoping for the best. But
I want to see him. I want to see him. You said he's an absolute stunner, isn't he, as well?
Yeah, he's a beautiful looker, but, you know, he looks well, but they don't always be quick.
How many more have you got in the Derby this year?
We've got Ballinabola Joe, and we really like him. He's a real nice dog.
So the best chance out of your runners this year to go as the furthest, maybe go and win it, who is it?
Probably the 2 young pups tomorrow night. If they progress a few rounds, they have the speed to do it.
We heard it, guys. The pups tomorrow night from one of the very best in the business, Pat Buckley. Pat, thanks for joining us and all the very best.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks very much.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Clona Ice, actually, because we were speaking to Pat yesterday, so looking forward to that. But, I mean, Pat Buckley, he always brings a good team, doesn't he?
Listen, he's been there, he's done it, hasn't he? And I think they're 5, is it 5 he's got this year? He had 3 winners in the first round last year, and he's one of those trainers, a little bit like Graham Holland, who you would expect him to get winners in the first round. You expect those dogs to be ready and perform. I can't think, maybe it was 3 years ago here, 2 or 3 years ago here, and there was one night, there's a massive entourage. Joe said the entourage is to one side, Pat's on his own to do the interview. And I think they must have all been. I remember on the old Racing Post Greyhound TV, you know, we had them all on, and they'd all, you know, we've had this one, we've had that one, we've had the other one, and you anticipate that with Pat, that they're going to get results in the early rounds. So yeah, just be aware of his runners. You know, he may tell us that 1 or 2 of these have been coming late after the Sheldon 600, sort of a late decision, but doesn't mean they're not going to strike gold.
So look out for Pat Buckley's runners, and I'm looking forward to seeing Clona Ice, who looks a very exciting type. Right, we have had a couple of tech issues, so what we're going to do is relive the opening heat, heat number 11, where Ballymac Axel was sent off 6-4 favourite.
And they're away and racing, and 6 gets a flashy break. New in Benny up on the outside, an early dash to go with it and clears the field. Just running on the back of him there a little bit was Missile One, but has turned a clear second. Trouble there for Arthur Cornflake and Optic Pharaoh, who rather collided and put themselves out the race. But it's 6 into the third turn. New in Benny with a length lead from Missile One, who's trying to close now, coming off the last bend. They're well clear of the 4 run, and Racket or Brute running on late up towards the line. 6 holds on. New in Benny from Missile One, who put up a gritty effort with qualification back in third for Racket or Brute.
New in Benny was the winner, 6-2, 4, 29-15, 7-2 for New in Benny. Trap 2, Missile 1, 4-1, and 4 Racket Hall Brute at 3-1 was back in third place. So those 3 through to next week's second round. The draw, of course, taking place on Sunday at noon. So very much looking forward to that. So it's always the exciting part as well, isn't it? We've got everybody through Saturday night.
Yes.
Then we wake up on Sunday and it's like, come on, we need the draw now to see what's going to go and happen next week.
Yes, you've got that period, haven't you, Saturday night, if you're a connection, if you're an owner and your dog's through, and you've got that chance just to play it out in your mind, probably wake up in the middle of the night every half an hour thinking, I just had a dreamer in with a la-di-da and what goes diamond, but I've woken up, it's a dream. But yeah, not too long, and then what do we get? 96, of course, 16 second round heats next Friday, Saturday.
Yep.
And this goes so quickly, doesn't it? This goes so quickly. Before you know it, if you're still there, it's quarter-final time. And then you're thinking, what am I going to wear to the Derby lunch, etc. So it's 5 weeks, but it's a rapid-fire 5 weeks.
It is, yeah. I mean, obviously it doesn't go any quicker than normal time, but to us, it's absolutely bonkers, isn't it? Because you are just living for the next round. You know, Monday to Thursday doesn't exist. It's then Friday, Saturday, then Saturday, then Saturday, then Saturday, and then before you know it, we're in the middle of June, and I can't quite believe then it's the middle of the year.
I mean, it used to be, in the old days, when we used to have the quarter-finals on a Tuesday, so you went from the third round on a Saturday to the quarters on a Tuesday and the semis on a Saturday. So within 8 days, you could be from, you know, in the third round to in the final.
Yeah.
That was like just madness, and I'm so glad, I'm sure most people will agree with this, I'm so glad that they changed that. Because in Ireland it was always, you know, 1 round every week. And why shouldn't it be? You know, we want to milk this, we want to maximise it. We don't, you know, this extra round, and I know there was reasons for it happening, but come on, you know, it's much better nowadays.
I agree. Now, we've got the parade for heat number 13. Trap 1, Ballymac Kobe, 7-4. He's a pacey dog. And the Monmouth Puppy Derby finalist for Maxine Locke and the JR Racing Syndicate. 5 from 15 so far. Trap 2, Faith Point Susie, gorgeous hound. Got to the third round in 2023, second round last year, and was 4th in the Derby Plate, so she knows how to run this track. Trap 3, Droopy's Superstar, Winter Derby finalist, and he does stay on strongly for Michael Burton and the 7 Racing Club. We then get to trap number 4 at 6 to 1. Toolmaker Quick, a Northern Puppy Derby semi-finalist for Jason Gray, and has recorded the fastest time in the field in the sales, 28.85. 11 to 1 for trap 5. Tricky Wiggles, who's lightly raced but was the Birmingham Cup 4th last year. Robert Holt, who owns and trains this greyhound. And 6, Ballinabola Jim for Pat Buckley, Irish Derby finalist, and reached a 600-yard final on his return to action. He'd been off for quite some time, but showed his well-being. Right, we're going to have a look at Ballymac Kobe in action. I'm quite looking forward to this, Dog, Darryl.
Absolutely, me too. Trap 1 here we're watching. This is the 27th of April. Loves the red jacket, loves Toaster as well. Probably loves Toaster more than the red jacket, but, you know, seems to be improving. He's come back from a bit of a break, ran in the Toaster Puppy Derby, English Puppy Derby last winter, finished second. Good form as one of the Monmore Puppy competition, so it's running the right races. But this was an indication that, you know, he was ready to go. I mean, an incredible, emphatic win. The comment on the race card, won well. I mean, they were right, because he won by 7, but you don't see that too often, do you? So.
No, it's sparsely used, I think, won well, isn't it, in the comments, so you just know. I'm
not sure if you can actually write as a racing manager, you know, absolute good thing next time, or equivalent words, but the racing manager is telling us, as if we need telling after a 7-length win, that was pretty special.
Well, sometimes they have trouble, don't they, and they've, you know, their winning distance is exaggerated, but that lad won by 7 1/4 lengths in the end, and just unbelievable, really, from last week. So, or not last week, 2 weeks ago. 7 to 4, he is favourite at the moment.
Right choice. I mean, I like Ballymac Kobe. Would you see it the same way? Or?
Yeah, I'm with Ballymac Kobe as well. Yeah, I think the red jacket suits him down to the ground. He's still, well, he's just come out of puppyhood, 5 from 15, 6 seconds. You don't really get much better records than that, do you?
You don't, and again, you know, Maxine's team is very, very strong, and you'd expect Ballymac Kobe to qualify. But this is a good heat, and look at the respect that Pat Buckley's dog's getting. Ballinabola Jim on the back of that run in the Shelbourne 600. What was it? A couple of weeks ago. You know, been off all the way through the winter. Bookmakers are not missing a trick there. You're not going to get a big price against one of Pat's, 3 to 1 on the outside. But the money came for Kobe, and there was also money for Fay Point Susie, Graham Holland's runner, earlier on in the day as well. Who, if you go back through the old form, would you know, have a very, very solid chance. 4 to 1/3 in.
Yeah, I mean, she's 10 from 23 over here. She reached the 3rd round 2 years ago. She reached the 2nd round last year. She was 4th in the Derby Plate last year. So she knows how to run Toaster. She knows how to sneak through rounds. You know, she's a nice bitch, and bitches don't historically do well, or at least don't win it anyway in the Greyhound Derby, do they?
No, it's difficult, isn't it? But this is the first round, and we will see how far she progresses. I should have pointed out, of course, she was in the VT with Ballymac Kobe. That's my fault for not mentioning that, but she was trickily drawn there in 4, and this is a better position for her to be today.
Certainly is. They are about to go forwards over at Toaster for the Star Sports and TRC English Greyhound Derby of 2025. I was saying over at Toaster as if I'm not here. I keep forgetting that we are actually at Toaster.
We are. We're not quite as close to it as Joe is, and everybody's lucky enough to be out there. And, you know, if you're sat at home thinking, I need to be there, get it booked in, come tomorrow, come next Friday, next Saturday.
I mean, you do have to, or go to the Toaster Racecourse website and do book your tickets and get them online if you are planning to come in the future, as the last one's about to be popped in. We can head back to Paul Lawrence.
As Krista started waving the flag, he's happy. The hare is now on the move. Sam I. And away and racing, and a good break from Tricky Wiggles up on the outside. Also on the inner is Fay Point Susie. It's Fay Point Susie taking the tighter line from Tricky Wiggles, who's handy. Then in behind these comes Droopy Superstar, who's a stayer, and he will be coming through to challenge now into the 3rd turn. It is 2, Fay Point Susie, who's kicked, but weaving a late passage is Droopy Superstar, who's looming in the wing mirrors. She kicks again, Fay Point Susie. She's game and sees it out well. 2's beaten 3, with 5 Tricky Wiggles qualifying back in 3rd. What a thriller.
It's Droopy Superstar, and Tricky Wiggles has snuck through in 3rd place, but Fay Point Susie, she knows how to run Toaster, Darryl.
It's another one for Graham Holland, isn't it? 4 winners for Graham Holland, and she got a lovely start here, Faye Point Susie, and Bunny McCoby certainly didn't, was on the back foot. You can see trap 3, Droopy Superstar is going to make a real big move at halfway, just in behind the pace. 5, Tricky Wiggles have moved nicely. Robert Holt's only running the competition. Look how Droopy Superstar, Danny, is moving on the inside, trap 3. Looked a big threat here, but Faye Point Susie not for catching. And here we are, that's, 13 heats in, 4 winners for Graham Holland.
He's just on fire, isn't he? He loves this competition and has taken yet another heat of the Greyhound Derby with Faye Point Susie. 29.05 we're hearing, so quickest time of the night has been recorded by this girl in 2. Just looking at the head-on, 3 and 4 didn't quite get out of the boxes as quick as a couple of others.
Terrible
but
missed up from the 1, wasn't it? Bunny McCoby's just lost the race, really, at the boxes.
Unfortunately, and doesn't want to be in 1, it seems, either, because he's moved right off down the middle of the track. Everybody else, though, seemingly likes where they were.
Yeah, I think they've kept their lines, haven't they? Their lanes, if you want. Tricky Wiggles paces up nicely on the outside of Faye Point Susie, but Faye Point Susie were able to assert down the back. And I think those on Droopy Superstar probably thought they were in the perfect stalking position. I mean, Paul's commentary was intimating that, and I would have been right with him. But, you know, Mike Burton, he's not been able to add to Droopy Aladdin's win from last night, but what he has done is he's got another qualifier, and he's showing us what a very shrewd trainer he is. Of course, you know, former owner, own screen critic. It was a finalist too many years ago now, but taken the licence out, attached to Valley, and he's doing brilliantly, isn't he, Mike?
Oh, yeah, and we speak to him on pretty much every show now because he seems to have a runner on Got to the Dogs quite a lot. So thrilled to see that his lad, Droopy Superstar, is through. But there is your winner. She's a gorgeous bitch. She's got really beautiful markings on her face as well. Faye Point Susie, who has now reached the 2nd round for the 3rd year in a row. Right, I think we're going to have delighted connections once again as we head back to Joe.
Thank you, Danny. It didn't take them long to get back on the score sheet this evening, as we are joined by Rachel Holland, Kenland and daughter of trainer Graham Holland. We'll come to Rachel first, actually. We'll come in the middle of you two, so we'll come to Rachel first. Rachel, she loves this place, doesn't she?
Yeah, she loves this place. She's been here, it's the 3rd year in the Derby, and she's had a litter of 1 pup, and she was delighted. Once she got out, she'll be very hard to catch, so yeah.
Got some nice videos of her with her pup called Midnight. So she loves it so much, and we were coming. So we brought
she knew where you were coming, didn't she? She went, "Come on, put me on the van."
That's right. Yeah. She said, "I love that place," and she does. She really comes alive here, and she's always done very well in the Derby for us. John Mullins had her in the Derby 1 year as well, and she keeps herself very well, and she's probably going to get bred from again, but she just will be winning a couple of heats of the Derby once we go along. And Chris loves her. Chris Flanagan, he absolutely adores her.
You know what? She's had to be extremely game there. Droopy Superstar. Now he stays, and he's turned in a good position behind her there, and she's pulled out plenty more on the run for home.
Yeah, look, she probably needed the race as well, but for whatever reason, the track suits her down to the ground. She breaks, she makes the bend, she makes the 3rd, and she stays. You know. So no, she's brilliant.
Right, Rachel, who else am I going to see you on here with tonight?
And hopefully Faye Point Harvey, he's our only other runner tonight, so hopefully we have a Chris Flanagan double tonight.
Yeah, that's the plan, guys. Faye Point Harvey going to get the double up for Graham Holland and Chris Flanagan. Guys, well done. Get it back in the kennel.
Superb scenes on the podium. I'm sure we'll be speaking to Graham again. Faye Point Susie, 29.05, quickest time on night 2 at 7-2. Beats Droopy Superstar in track 3 at 11-2, and 5 Tricky Wiggles was 3rd at 16-1.
Bet Goodwin, proud sponsors of Gone to the Dogs. Bet clever, bet Goodwin.
Joined by a greyhound. This is Eric, who is Gail May's retired greyhound, who is, well, he's been fundraising. So he deserves a rest, and he's flat out on his mat. He's wearing his Let a Greyhound Race Into Your Life jacket, as you can see. So that is all about Greyhound Homing UK. Hello, gorgeous boy. And he's about to have a nice sleep next to us as Gail continues fundraising for the retired Greyhounds. So if you want any more information about the retired hounds and what we're doing, greyhoundhominguk.com is the place to go. But he's our little pal and studio mascot, hoping for a few nights, actually, of the show. So as long as he behaves himself, which I'm sure he will. But it's great to have a Greyhound in the studio, isn't it, Daryl?
What? It's lovely, but it's right over there. I mean, you could have sat here next to me. But that was never going to happen, was it? It was never going to happen, no.
No, I was going to fight you for that. If anything, we'll move the table next time. Get him in the middle.
Yeah, but listen, how good to have him in the studio. And, yeah, he's paying attention. We may ask you a question later. So keep monitoring, keep listening. Okay.
If he barks, maybe we're onto a good thing.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see what happens.
That's the way.
But no, he's a gorgeous boy. He's, if you are coming to Toaster, then you will see him at the gate with Gail May, who is fundraising. He's usually got Pablo, the pup, but I think Eric stood in a couple of times as well this year. So, yeah, he's very alert, and I think he loved it when he heard the hair go round as well. I think Gail was saying he was bouncing towards me earlier on because he now knows me, but he was bouncing towards the hair as well because I don't think it ever leaves them, does it?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
No matter how old they get. I think he's got 4 teeth as well now. So he's an old boy. He's our Eric here. He's an old boy, but he's gorgeous. Right, on with the show. We have got plenty still to come. We'll be up to Heat 14 next at 7:28. It's not just Heat 14, though. It's the return of last year's champion, Deladi Dar, in the red jacket. So hoping that he can absolutely ping and make all, but we'll soon find out in about 15 minutes or so. Let's go to Joe.
Well, I've got him. I've just had to pretend I wanted to talk to Dave for about 2 minutes just so I could keep him here, and we've trapped him. So delighted to be joined by Dave Firmager, owner, breeder of one of the best operations in the country, the fabulous and Romeo Prefix. Dave, thank you for joining us.
That was quite strong. That was a very kind introduction. I need to give you a job. I'll put the money in a pocket later. Yeah, okay, all right.
Quite a strong team this year.
Yeah, we've got a mixed bunch there. Obviously, the old boys there, Romeo Command. Probably be his last soiree, sortie, if you like. I'm hoping he, because stays in the competition as long as he can. If not, then the Sudbook Trophy will be probably his last races that he has. So, yeah. And then we've got some young dogs. The dog that won last night, he ran very well. We thought very pleased with him. Romeo Tomcat ran behind Graham's dog, the Valtastra Delic fella. Romeo Steele's coming up, the first of ours tonight.
He's got a lead, hasn't he? We know his chances.
He has to lead. He will be sort of struggling, not struggling, but anything that's comes strong at him at the end, he could be a little, he could get caught. But we expected him, and Graham's got 2 in there, and his dog's running out of skin at the moment, aren't they? So then we've got Aria. She's pretty much the same boat. She really needs to lead. It's a tough race there. March on Freddy, very good dog. A couple of others, Solomio as well, who was in the Kirby. Yeah, so it's a tough race, and she needs to be on the bunny, I think, to be doing her best.
Finally, talk to us about this one.
Romeo Empire.
Now, I've made a bold statement. I said to Patrick as well. He wins a St. Ledger this year.
We've purposely not. I mean, he looks like, if you watch his races, he's crying out for sixpence. We purposely haven't stepped him up. His sister has, Hecker, and she's put up some good runs as well. We purposely haven't stepped him up to sixpence because we didn't want to take his speed away. So he's been very lightly campaigned, and any progression that he makes through the race, he will improve and improve. He traps, he can break, he probably gets tapped for a little bit of toe to the bend, and then depending on the traffic problems is how he comes through the race, and he'll be running on, he'll be finishing as strong as anything coming home. So being out of our Derby winner, Romeo Magico, it'll be nice for him to go deep in the competition and give us a bit of fun anyway.
Good or bad thing, he's my nap.
I don't know, you do pretty good, don't you?
Doing okay, we're doing
how many Derby winners have you picked?
A few. Magico was one. We're going to come to that now. We're going to come to Magico because you've won this competition as an owner, as a breeder as well. It was an unbelievable feeling, I can imagine.
Absolutely.
Just describe it for us.
Pretty surreal, to be honest with it. It's difficult to sink in. That was the year that all the guys from Nottingham had the dog.
Mickey's Barrett.
Yeah, and it was a really great occasion. That the fact that they got there as well, and there was a good atmosphere all around, and there was really good guys because they got involved and had a good sing and everything. So it was a good crowd. It was a good night, lovely night like tonight. And it's strange when you win it and you got Michael Fortune saying, "Oh, and David Firmage's finally climbed the mountain." And I said to him, "What mountain was that? We're trying to get up." But yes, it's a nice statement. And then of course it sinks in. Graham was staying with us. Graham and Nikki and Rachel were all with us, staying with us. We went back home, and it's quite sombre then. But then you've got the Derby Trophy, and it's sitting on your sideboard, and you're looking at it, and she's polishing it every week for me. I said, "You better polish that. You know, whoever has it next to go, you got to look after it." And then it was a bit of to give the trophy back was a bit hard, weren't it? Not so. It'd be nice to take it back home with us.
That's Nicola, David's wife.
Yeah, that's the wife. That's my main kennel hand.
What Dave did tell me was he did keep Nicola out of bed and had the trophy in there for at least 6 weeks.
What, in bed? Yeah. All right, okay. Did I tell you that? Shh, don't tell everybody. All right, mate. Thank you very much.
Cheers,
so
mate.
hopefully you'll pick the Derby winner again this year.
Empire.
Perfect.
That'll do.
Cheers, guys.
Well, here's hoping that Nicola gets to shine that trophy again all year because...
It's a bit of a revelation. That was the trophy was in bed for 6 weeks.
I know. Well, where else are you going to put it? You've got to find a place to put it. May as well be in bed. Now, we have got the next race coming up at 7:28. It is Heat 14, possibly the most anticipated heat of the night with regards to of course, last year's champion. 4 from 6 years at Toaster, 1 second, 1/3. That was how his Derby campaign shaped up last year. He won his first 2 rounds and the last 2, and he's been lightly campaigned since. He's 4-7 for Liam Dowling. We've got 4-1 About the Other Boss, 6-1 Gunslinger, 10-1 Druids All Go and Clona Curly, and Fruity Tuxedo, 25-1 drawn well on the outside. But Delardi Dar looking to defend his Derby crown with a win in the first round.
And we're due a favourite, aren't we? Only one favourite's finished in the frame in the first 3 qualification places so far. All 3 winners, strange enough, have all been 7-2, but there isn't a 7-2 chance at the moment in this race. But yeah, Delardi won the first round last year, won the second round last year. The trial was good. I mean, look, he looks prepped and ready, doesn't he, for Liam? So we'd be a bit disappointed if he doesn't win, really, in the first round tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking through the split times, and Fruity Tuxedo's put a 4:06 on the board. Delardi Dar 4:10. I know who I'd be backing to just nick round in front, and that'd be the inside draw.
You would think so. Mind you, Gunslinger's put a 4:04 in as well, pinged out the other week. So, look, there are always hazards, aren't there, in these races?
Yes.
I mean, even in the first round, we're always looking for reasons that things could go wrong. I said it earlier, his qualification is most important for Delardi Dar more than anything else. But he's got his red jacket. He's 9 from 13 in red. He's got what he needs.
He has. It couldn't have gone more perfectly, really, the draw for him. So hoping that he can go on and justify
You've got to
the
wake up for this one. You've got to watch this one. Goodness me, Eric, come on.
Honestly, I don't think he cares. He does not care about the Derby this year. But he has been doing his job already this evening because he's put some money in the tank. I think we got £300 yesterday on the door for Greyhound Home in UK. I think we have got cards set up for next week as well. At the moment, we've just got our little money bucket. So if you have got a spare couple of quid, do make sure you support the retired Greyhounds if you can. Also, if you are coming to Toaster, make sure you book your tickets online too. And wrap up, it is Baltic. Right. Here we go. There he is, last year's champion, Delardi. Oh no, that's not him.
Is he in one place ahead?
He's decided to just go to the boxes, hasn't he? Yeah. Right, Trap 2, Gunslinger. He's actually reached 4 Cat 1 semi-finals for Michelle Brown. Trap 1, Delardi Dar, doing it backwards. Last year's champion, there he is. Can he do it again?
For the champ, is there? You can do what you want. Do what you want.
He doesn't care. He needs to be led in. Trap 3, The Other Boss. Stays well at Oxford, and 2 of his 3 wins have been here at the track. We've got Druids All Go in the black jacket. Derby Plate finalist last year. Has been quite lightly raced this year, though, for Craig Morris. We've got Clona Curly, the Northern Puppy Derby winner last year and was second in the St Ledger. So one thing we do know is he'll stay all day. Then we get trap 6, Fruity Tuxedo, possibly a couple of quid just on the name alone. He's got the draw. He's a complete unknown for me, but clearly connections think quite a bit of him. That is the parade done and dusted for heat number 14 of the Star Sports and TRC English Greyhound Derby of 2025, and they will be heading towards the boxes very shortly.
Which race this is we're having a look at here?
You know what? I don't know. I don't remember it. What happened?
I mean, goodness me, it's probably a question you'd ask Liam Dowling and the owners and whatever, and they'd probably be able to run it through second by second. But yeah, this is the ultimate, isn't it? This is what everybody dreams of, what everybody owns a greyhound for, has an involvement in a greyhound, because for most of us it can never happen, but for one or two, they just get that opportunity, and you can't take it away. You can take the trophy back, Dave Furringer, but you can't take the honour of winning the Derby. That's there for life, and it's a brilliant achievement.
It certainly is, and Deladi Dart looking to stamp his authority over the competition tonight. Here's Joe.
Thank you, Danny. Yeah, brilliant race, and brilliant to have the Derby reigning champion back with us here, Deladi Dart in Trap 1. Now, look, I've got a kennelland licence with Carol Weatherall. I've had it for 15, 16 years of my life. So I'm all raging for the other boss here, who's a very, very fast ground. As we know, he stays sixpence. Darren and Carol and Natalie have worked wonders to get him back into some decent form. He got by Racket or Brute on the 27th of April. But this dog can run, and I'm hoping he can buy here from Trap 3, his second favourite at 9 to 2. Was in the race Slinger recently with Mark Wallace and the MWD partnership. He's now with Michelle Brown.
Well, there are the boards in the betting ring. Looks pretty busy. Looks like Lofty and Calm are taking a couple of bets there at Star Sports. So hopefully it's quite a lively night. I know that the sun is shining. It'll bring a few people out anyway, because, you know, Toaster's cold enough at the best of times. You might need a hoodie and a scarf today. But it's great. There's nothing better, Darryl, for me, than being at that rail and watching the dogs.
Yeah, it's a wonderful feeling here. So, bit of late money, isn't there, for the other boss, and Joe obviously involved with Carol's team. Again, Carol's only runner in the Derby, only need one, of course. Bit of money there. Gunslinger, bit of money for Michelle Brown's runner at 6s. But don't forget, Dean Blackbird had Killer for Gorham last night on a monster race. He's got the 50 to 1 outside of your Fruity Tuxedo.
Let's see how they all go. The last one's in.
Wave the flag. And the hare is now running for heat 14 of the first round of the Greyhound Derby. And away and racing, and Deladi Dar has bombed out the box, and he's dashed into the turn with a clear 4-5 length lead. He's in a hurry here. Gunslinger is next in the field, and then trailing right at the back of the pack, we've got the other boss. Down the far side, though, is Deladi Dar. He's in a hurry here. He's some 8 lengths clear of the chasing pack, headed by Druids All Go. Then in behind this one comes Clona Curly, and up towards the line. This was straightforward. It's on the distance, lads. And Deladi Dar has won it, and won it easily. From 5, Clona Curly, who stayed on strongly for second, and Druids All Go qualified back in third.
Wow, is all I'll say there, Darryl. That was unreal.
That's the only word you need. Deladi Dar. We wait to see what the split is. Of course, 3.95. The Killer for Gorham split last night is the fastest. Whether that has bettered that, only time will tell. Unfortunately, Gunslinger gets tumbled over. I think the other boss stumbled out a little bit behind. Well, you tell everybody the time, because it's absolutely brilliant.
Goodness gracious me. 28.50. Yes, you heard me. Not 29.50, but 28.50. 6 spots off the clock. That has got to be a quicker split time than last night's Killiford Gorham, and that is how the Derby champion starts his campaign. Unbelievable.
I mean, we talked about just qualifying, just get through, or you could just do this, really, couldn't you?
Wow. I mean, no wonder he was 4 to 7. I mean, goodness me. And everybody was saying, you know, he's been lightly raced since. We're not quite sure if he's going to be fully fit. Is he going to ping like he had? Yeah. Yeah, I think the champion's ready. He's ready for another tilt. He's ready to add that name to a list of double winners.
I mean, such a shame to see Gunslinger tumbled over and the other boss embroiled in that early skirmish at the boxes. But to be fair, this Greyhound's gone before they've even realised what's happening. The others, Delardi-Dar, an absolute phenomenal performance. So we go from 28.81, Val Tashadelik's fastest time, to 28.50, 4 lengths quicker than the previous best in the competition this year.
My word, that's a way to kick off. Wow. So 154, Clona Curly in second, Druids All Go in third. Those 3 through to next week's second round, and Gunslinger did finish. The other boss did manage to tack himself onto the back end of the group, and Fruity Tuxedo did have a mountain to climb, really. If you heard a bang there, it was just Eric getting comfortable and kicking my chair.
He did actually lift his head when Delardi-Dar finished, or just afterwards. He turned around and had a little look as if to say, yeah, all right, OK, it was pretty good.
I could have done better, but, you know, back in the heyday. No, Delardi-Dar, I mean, he knows he's a champion, doesn't he? What a perform. I mean, the nerves must be something else. When you've got last year's winner and you think, oh, is he fully tuned up? You'll know he's fully tuned up, but you never know what's going to happen on the night. Is he going to stumble out the boxes? Is he going to just slightly miss it? Is he going to get chopped at the bend? And then he flies around like that, and you think, oh, my goodness me, now he's got to do it 5 more times.
Do you know how I spoke earlier about cheap sandwiches being 1 to 5 and so ridiculous price? I'm now thinking 1 to 2. That was a gift, wasn't it? If only we'd known what we now know a few minutes earlier.
That was unbelievable. Joe, oh, my word.
Wow. It's hard to describe that. Just waiting for Jim to take this picture with Liam Dowling, Delardi-Dar. I mean, but that was just unbelievable. You know, it's helped, of course, with the other boss and Gunslinger doing what they've done. But just stay there for a second, Liam, as we come to join you. What a way to return.
The dog is winded, but I'm more winded, Joe. Look, fabulous, fabulous. I thought he flew from boxes. Oh. I was infield, so it was hard enough to see, but, you know, just fantastic, fantastic.
Was there any nerves? Obviously, you've won it last year, and look, I know that feeling once you've won it, you can relax, and you're coming back. But coming back with him, he's been laid out and lightly raced. Did you expect him to come away like that?
No, I didn't, because I was astounded. Somebody in the stand while ago and said nobody was coming away from one. But look, this dog knows this dress like the back of his hand at this stage, so you'd expect him to come away from it, but I thought he ran a cracker. He was faultless right throughout, you know, but it's early days. It's round 1. We're in the hat for round 2. That's as far as I'm going to look at anyway.
That's the most important thing. You are in the draw for round 2. And just a quick word on the rest of the team that you've got, and a brilliant performance from Ballymac Peb last night.
Yeah, time for a puppy around terrible well. Stuck to the rails. He's a real railer. Maybe after the last spin there, he got a little bit of luck on the inside and where he came, but he's a very, very young dog. And we have a young dog tomorrow night, but drawing 6, not a great dog from come away, but good-hearted dog. So we'll see. We've 2 in the hat. Not bad.
Liam, you've seen proof last year. You only need 1. When they keep coming away like that, you're going to give yourself a chance again.
Yeah. Well, listen, look, we can't ask for much better than this now. So we're just look after him and we're on next weekend.
Can't get him in. Well done. Pardon, boy.
What a champion. Delardi-Dar, 28.50 the win time, 4 to 9 favourite. Yeah, that is a gift. Clona Curly, 14 to 1. In second from box 5 and track 4, Druids All Go, also 14 to 1.
Bet clever, bet good win. Proud sponsors of Gone to the Dogs. Bet good win, bet good win, bet good win.
And they're away and racing, and 6 gets a flashy break. New in Benny up on the outside, an early dash to go with it and clears the field. Coming off the last bend, they're well clear of the 4 run, and Racket or Brute running on late up towards the line. 6 holds on. New in Benny from Missile 1, who put up a gritty effort with qualification back in third for Racket or Brute. And we're off and racing, and a flashy break from Hopes and Palumpa. Early pace up on the outside from Ginger Shelby to challenge. Meeting the sandwich there was no better feeling, but he's tough and he's gone round in front. And it's 4, he's kicked again, booted clear. No better feeling, yes sir. 4, 3 and 6 the qualifiers there, with Hopes and Palumpa back in second. Ginger Shelby in third. And away and racing, and a good break from Tricky Wiggles up on the outside. Also on the inner is Fay Point Susie. Is Droopy Superstar, who's looming in the wing mirrors. She kicks again, Fay Point Susie. She's game and sees it out well. 2's beaten 3, with 5 Tricky Wiggles qualifying back in 3rd.
Rachel, she loves this place, doesn't she?
Yeah, she loves this place. She's been here, it's the 3rd year in the Derby, and she's had a litter of 1 pup, and just delighted. Once she got out, she'll be very hard to catch, so yeah.
Connections there for Fay Point Susie, who won at 7-2, and it was the quickest time of the night of 29.05 until we just saw Delardi Dar absolutely bolt up. Every time I say Delardi Dar, he seems to pop his head up, so I think we've got a bit of a fan over in the corner.
He won't be the only one, Danny, to be fair.
This is
Isn't
true.
it amazing, though, how Fay Point Susie comes here and does so well every year, and now Delardi Dar again has won first round 2 years running. I mean, it's one of those things, probably in hindsight, actually, we've had 14 heats, but it's the kind of, there's still enough races to look at. Dogs that have proven themselves in the past, been ready for the first round of the Derby successfully, and have done so again.
We'll have to wait and see what happens later on this evening with a couple more, but we're going to go back to Joe.
Thank you, Danny. And let's get a bit of a bookmaker reaction to what we've just witnessed there. 28.50 from Delardi Dar with Martin Chapman, Lofty from Star Sports. And Lofty, that was some run, but you've just said to me you still want to be around about 16 to 1 maybe?
I think certainly would be 16, 20 to 1-ish. I mean, it was impressive the naked eye there, wasn't he? And the time told the story, you know, he's rocketed out like he has really in the final last year, but he's been a bit, you know, under par around Shelbourne. I mean, would he do that again next week in a stronger second round heat? I mean, do it in a quarter-final, semi-final if he got that far? You know, yeah, it was a good performance and good to see the track on a bit quicker tonight. And, you know, fast times, a lot of people are really seeing good runs like that. But, yeah, I'll be happy to take him on again, I think, with that sort of run. You know, put him in some better company.
OK, and how are we getting on tonight? We've had a few of the heats now. How are we looking? How's the book looking?
Up and down, we're just level, I think, now. We did lay that there at odds on. We laid Fay Point Susie early on pretty well. We did manage to have a few quid back on that, so that wasn't a bad result. Yeah, so I think we're about level in the book. Might be losing small. Can's betting without the favourite the other side as well. So we had a couple of fair results betting without the favourite. So that's saving it tonight. I'm being the idiot doing the money this side, and Can's winning the money the other side. So plenty more race to go still. Hopefully, might be a few more bets flying about. So yeah, we'll see how we go.
There we go. Now we're going to make a quick substitution because we've got Gail May here from Greyhound Home in UK and the absolutely stunning Pablo the Pup, whose win record round here at Toaster is quite sensational. Gail, thank you for joining us, Greyhound Home in UK. He's just a beauty, isn't he?
He is absolutely adorable, yeah, we love him to bits. He had his 21st win last week, and we're hoping for the 22nd after this appearance, because he always seems to win after he's been cuddling everyone at the Derby, so...
Look, his record speaks for itself. Just give us a quick word on Greyhound Home in UK. Getting bigger and bigger. You're doing wonderful things, mate. You really are.
Thank you. No, it's going really well, and obviously during the Derby we're fundraising for the
10 grand target.
That's what we're hoping for, but we might be being too optimistic. But I'm hopeful. We've started the prize draw tonight, and yeah, we're raising money for all the homing centres that have partnered with us so far. So yeah, it's really good. I'm so excited about it, and it's going well.
Fantastic. Keep up the great work, Gail.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't get jealous, Eric. Pablo's not taking your place. Pablo the Pup, he does have a cracking record, to be fair, at Toaster, and he will pretty much always be here on the Derby rounds as well. I think he's definitely here for the final. I know he's here for quite a lot of it because he just loves the public. Most, to be fair,
the public love him.
They do, to be fair. He's a bit of a Twitter sensation as well. I think there is a Twitter handle, X handle as well with Pablo the Pup, so do check that out. We are not a million miles away from our next heat. It's heat number 15 of the first round, and down the card, Trap Bomb Baggio's Quixote at 7-1, 2 Fay Point Harvey, Daryl's Nap at 9-4, 3 is Romeo Steele for Patrick Jansen's 5-4, Zenith Quincy I actually quite liked the look of at 9-1 in Trap 4, 11-2 New in DJ in 5, and 6 Brinkley's Louis, who I've heard from Tom Halebron is a bit of a lunatic, at 20-1 on the outside.
Yeah, Fay Point Harvey is my nap, and this is a run in Trap 4, Danny. You know, normally a good starter here, just has to give second best, but it is going to be Racket Hall Brute, who will just run down or just hold off Fay Point Harvey in the closing stages. But I thought it was a good enough run. This dog ran one in the Derby Plate last year. Seems to have that sort of improving profile gaining a bit more experience at Toaster this year. I mean, this is a fairly tight finish, but a decent run in defeat ultimately on that occasion. 9-4 chance, not favourite though, because Romeo still is taking bets. One of Patrick Jansen's team, of course, who we heard about a little bit earlier on. Strong Team 2 qualified already last night, and we have more qualifiers. I need to be wary of Romeo Steele and everyone who's on Fay Point Harvey, but I'm hoping Fay Point Harvey can break as quickly as he has been.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the split times, 4:07, 4:06, 4:08. He's very consistent out of the boxes. You look at Romeo Steele, he's just a touch slower, the 4:13, 4:14. However, Baggio's Quixote looks like he might be able to pace up well enough into the first bend. It's just whether or not Fay Point Harvey can just hold that good pitch. I'm hoping he does for you. I'm with Zenith Quincy, actually, in trap 4.
Yeah, let me tell you about Zenith Quincy, or at least about the trainer, Richard Rees. This is his first runner of the meeting. I think he's got 4 more tomorrow. But he was a trainer who did really well in the first round last year. I think he had 3 winners, but the key was 2 of them were big prices. He had a 12-to-1 and he had a 7-to-1 winner. So don't be worried about the price if you're backing a Richard Rees dog. This is 9-to-1 here. First time up, only had, I think, a couple of runs in Ireland. 1 from trap 3 over there. British debut in at the deep end, I suppose you could say.
Maliki and Love Island, though. Love Island was Burj Khalifa's mum. And Burj Khalifa ran Toaster very well. New in DJ, there he is, trap 5. I think a semi-new recruit for the MWD partnership. Kent Plate semi-finalist, has taken well to Toaster, 3 from 7 and 6. Keen to get on with things, Brinkley's Louis. We were talking to Tom Hilbrun on the podcast, and he said, this one, quote, is a loony in the kennel. Just wants to go all the time. You can see when he was on parade there, he's quite tough to stop or catch, and he just wants to go. And it looks like Zenith Quincy might be similar, actually. He seems quite a bouncy type, and I quite like to see them slightly on toes. Certainly for sprints, not necessarily for staying races, but for kind of sprints and 4 bends. I do like to see them kind of pulling at the end of the lead and just really game for it, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I'm a big supporter of the Richard Rees kennel, obviously being involved in the Legacy Racing Syndicate, and we've got 9%, my 10% of 9% tomorrow night. Doesn't matter, you've got involved in the derby, that's all you want.
Yeah.
But, Richard won't want me to mention it, so I won't, that, he's had so many near misses, Churchfield Sid, and so many, almost but not quite in the final. Trying to, I'm going to stop there, because if he's listening, we're going to, please don't mention my dad and my granddad. But it's going to happen eventually. Very, very shrewd operation. And, yeah.
Churchfield Sid still to come, of course.
Of course.
So he's making another tilt at the Greyhound Derby this year. What a lad he is. He's a TikTok sensation. Did you know that, Darryl? 1.5 million views he's got on his little clip.
Isn't it?
And it was just a race at Monmore when we were there for the Winter Derby. It's just one of the supporting opens. And that's done better than Proper ARS's run. And you just think, what? Really? But yeah, Churchfield City's a legend.
Is it one person's watched it 1.5 million times, then, you think?
I just love him. I just love him.
I'll repeat. But the favourite here, of course, is Romeo Steele, who's got to try and cheat the draw, I suppose, but has got the ability to do that. We know that.
I think he can, especially if Fay Point Harvey rockets out and he doesn't quite rocket. He could just edge in ever so slightly, get a bit of a toe in into the first bend. Joe, what did you make of it?
Yeah, interesting race, Danny. Romeo Steele, look, we all know that he needs to lead. If he doesn't lead, he won't be qualifying. Fay Point Harvey from 2, he's going to move off, and he's got to be on his toes here, Romeo Steele, because he can't afford to miss the break and try and pace up. He's got to come away running here and get across, and that could suit the likes of New in DJ, strong running type. He lacks a yard of early pace, but this race could just completely fall apart. And if he does, he'll be staying on stronger than anything New in DJ. So I'm going to be with Romeo Steele, but he's way too big, New in DJ. If anyone's playing the forecast, TriCast, you've got to add him into it, New in DJ, because there's some here that will be tying up, and he definitely won't be. So he'll be finishing strong.
New in DJ could be interesting then for the MWD partnership and Mark Wallace. 4 from 14 so far, 5 seconds. So yeah, I mean, he's consistent enough. He's been behind Fabulous Aria, Gunslinger. He's behind Boyle Sports Blue recently as well. So he's been mixing it in with the good types.
Yeah, and all this on the back of a very, very long time off the race course. I mean, you look at those runs from the last 6 weeks, but, he went missing for a long time. So That 29.08 was a local PB, if you want, last time, you know, getting better and better. Peak form arriving just at the right time, I guess you could say.
Hopefully so, or certainly the MWD partnership.
And look at the money,
so.
Danny, so to jump over there, but 7-2 from 11-2, that is, very, very quickly. That's one of the plunges in the moves close to the off that we've seen so far tonight.
So 6-4, Romeo Steele, 15-8, Fay Point Harvey, 7-2, the Money Dog, New in DJ, and it's 11-1 bar those. And it's Quincy drifting like a barge, probably because he's my pick. They're almost ready to go. It is heat number 15 of the Star Sports and TRC English Greyhound Derby of 2025. Welcome along if you have just joined us here on Gone to the Dogs Live. We are buzzing to have you with us this evening to enjoy night 2 of round 1. Here's PL.
All in then, wave of the flag and the hare is on the move. Hare's running. And away and racing and flying out the boxes is Fay Point. Harvey's in a hurry. Romeo Steele is trying to look for a way up on the inside and barges his way to the front. Romeo Steele then from Fay Point Harvey. Then comes Brinkley's Louis. Then behind these comes Baggio's Coyote at the back of the pack. New in DJ and also Zenith Quincy. Turning for home now. It's hard work on the front end for Romeo Steele as Fay Point Harvey comes back for more and hits the front close home. Fay Point Harvey gets on top. Fay Point Harvey from Romeo Steele with Brinkley's Louis back in third. A 2-3-6 order in heat 15.
Nap landed. Competitive heat, but Fay Point Harvey has won. Beats 3 Romeo Steele in second and 6 Brinkley's Louis was back in third place. But, well, Darryl, hats off to you for picking the Nap. Trap 2.
Well, I tell you what, if you had the audio on me, I was, as you can expect, very excited. Oh, and then all of a sudden, I've gone very quiet then. I've gone back into my shell because Romeo Steele, who, as Joe said, and quite rightly, probably best on the lead, I'm thinking, gosh, that wasn't what I expected, but he digs deep, doesn't he? Fay Point Harvey, 28.99. I mean, not the time that we've just seen with Lardyard. It matters not, of course. And Graham Holland, 5 is the score now.
Indeed. Sorry, I was just getting distracted because we've had...
Sorry, things to do.
Yeah, no, we've had Eric drinking out of my glass. Anyway, Trap 2, Fay Point Harvey has managed to stick to a good racing line, really, to be fair. I mean, Romeo Steele did what we thought he might, which is just come up the inside or slot in behind Fay Point Harvey on the run to the first bend. You can see he started like an absolute rocket. I'd like to see that split as well up to the first, but 3 Romeo Steele has managed to just nip up the inside, and kudos to Fay Point Harvey for fighting back, because he's not a dog that you'd usually be able to peg back, is he, Steele?
No, but I think it's just this, you know, if someone had asked me, and hopefully we've put this across tonight or earlier today in the preview programme, you know, which trainer do you want on your side for round 1 in the Derby? And year in, year out, Graham Holland does it. I mean, 7 winners last year in round 1. We're up to 5. How many has he got left? I think there's no more tonight, are there? I think we're reliant on tomorrow for the remaining runners. I'm just trying to find the scoreboard. 2 tomorrow. He's got to win with the other 2 tomorrow. Poor Eric's got his toe tangled up for a second in the lead, but he's all good. Is this part of your remit, having to...
Apparently so, yeah. I mean, I love greyhound sitting anyway. I don't mind it at all. Yeah. I'm not sure I'll be drinking my water again. He's decided to go for a wander. So he's got his own bowl here, but if you can see... Well, you won't be able to see, but he's decided to lick out of my glass instead because he didn't fancy his bowl. He fancied mine. There we go. Trap 2. Fay Point Harvey. He knows the camera's on him now. He's laid down. Fay Point Harvey is heading back to the winner's podium. And Rachel said she hoped that we would be back on the winner's podium with her later on, and she's going to be all smiles, and the Derby blog that she writes is going to be lit up this weekend, I think.
I was just wondering, when the Holland team arrive at Toaster, whether before they kennel the grounds, I'm joking here, but the first thing they do is go and show them where the winner's podium is, because that's what they need to know for later. Come on, everyone, let's go and have a look. This is where you'll be later on. I mean, it's a phenomenal record. I wish I had the stats for early years, but definitely 7 last year, and I think it was 3 or 4 the year before and the same the year before. I've got the stats somewhere, but it's every year. It's every year.
It really is just a phenomenal operation, and they've won again, Joe.
They certainly have done here. 2 runners tonight, 2 of the Fay Point prefix. 2 winners. Are we surprised? I don't think so. 5 winners now for Team Holland over the last night and a half. And yeah, we spoke to Rachel and Graham earlier. A brilliant performance. What he's done, what he's led Romeo Steele out of the boxes is what he's beat him in the end. And we'll come to Graham first. Graham, he's flew out the boxes. Of course, you had Romeo Steele, so you know how fast he can be. You must have been a little bit worried when he did get up your inside, but as you said to me then, getting to the third bend, you knew he had won.
And look, Romeo Steele's a real nice dog. A lot of early, a lot of middle. He's probably chinking the arm. He's not a great breaker. But what we had to do is hang on to his shirt tails, because the 500 round here is plenty far enough for him. And Patrick's got him running out of his skin. He ran a great race. But I fancied him a bit. What I didn't want him to do was bump each other early on. And where he broke well and then still didn't, it gave him a gap. So
I don't even know if it's him missing the break. I think your lad just absolutely flew out of the boxes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, look, he did. It's nice to... look, he's been getting... We've changed the draw on him because he was trapping okay, but there's always a dog to get up his inside, and he's left on the outside. Yeah. And tonight, he was still in his own way, and it's nice to see the dog come round and win.
5 winners now. All the team have come off okay from last night, so you'll check these out in the morning, but the 3 winners from last night all come off okay?
Yeah, brilliant form. I'm really pleased with Bucko's diamond. He's come out of the race really well. So onwards and outwards.
Let's get a quick word with Rachel. Rachel, you said it had happened. We had you here about 45 minutes ago. You said, look, we're going to have 2 winners. The 2 favourites are going to win. You proved right.
Yeah, we hope so. But yeah, we're delighted now. And Chris Flanagan, I say, is having a really good night. And 2 runners tonight, 2 winners. So we're delighted. And it's all about qualifying at this stage. But it's nice to get a winner as well.
You're back tomorrow to get plenty more through.
Hopefully. We have 2 on the night tomorrow. Just we'll take 3rd place at this stage. So, yeah.
Just for the viewers, who you got tomorrow?
Bombay Pat and Croker's Planet.
In good form?
Yeah, they're both in good form. So yeah, hope we qualify.
You birdie guys, have the double.
Thank you.
I think Bombay Pat still to come tomorrow, and he's 4th favourite in the anti-post market, so I think we'll see a little bit more from Graham and Rachel tomorrow evening. But Fay Point Harvey 28.99, so dipping under that 29 seconds, 7-4 second favourite. 3 Romeo Steele 13-8 favourite in second, and Trap 6 Brinkley's Louis qualifies in third at 10-1.
Bet Clever. Bet Goodwin. Proud sponsors of Gone to the Dogs.
Off-fan racing away, and it's track 5, the Roaders beat the lead out from 3 paces up the Wildcat. The Roaders Wildcat going to lead round this first bend from 5 in second spot. The Roaders Big 6 is handy. Wolf Jack, but down the far side is the Roaders Wildcat. But Kevin Hung, 2 lengths clear from Frubersburg, back in second. Then comes the 5 dogs. Roaders Vic approaching the final bend now, though. It's the Wildcat that's pounced early. Still leads by 2 lengths and 4. Frubersburg off his final Ken. 5 Maker trying to make progress on the outside of the Roaders Vic, but it's the Wildcat. Here comes the Berg. The challenge close on, but can't get there. The Wildcat's done it. A fairy tale for Connections.
Barking Mad Betting. You might not have heard of it. It's a new YouTube channel where we follow Ryan Keneally, my brother, by the way, Ryan Keneally. So, Ryan, thanks for joining us. And just Barking Mad Betting, been going a couple of weeks. It's took off. Tell the people about it.
Yeah, so older brother, by the way, just to let you know. So yeah, let's just get that in there. So I've been a full-time gambler really on Greyhounds for the last 2.5 years, pretty much. And I've seen a load of influencers, YouTube content creators on social media on horse racing, and just decided, well, there might be a gap here, an opportunity for ground racing. Let's give it a go. And so far, we're going around 2 weeks now, and yeah, so far the feedback and the support we've had and the audience has just been, absolutely blew me away. It's actually left me speechless, which anyone who watches the show would probably laugh at that one.
Yeah, he's certainly not speechless on the show. He's got a lot of talking to do, a lot of shouting, and look, we've been going, as you say, 2 weeks or so, over 100,000 views already. Did you imagine it would be as successful as it has been in such a short space of time? I think people just really, really enjoy watching people live their life, and they can relate to it. And there's a lot of people that do love gambling. Loads of people love dog racing. So combine the two, and I think you've got a really entertaining concept there. Like I said, you've seen what happens to the people in horse racing, and it's takes off there. So yeah, I think as long as I can
back some winners. Get down when I lose, but make sure that I have more winners than losers. And yeah, just keep really promoting the sport, because the main part of it is to promote the sport of ground racing. It's a wonderful sport. So many people love it. The dogs love it. And my job really is, yes, I want people to see what it's like to bet full time on ground racing, but also what a wonderful sport ground racing is. And if you can't get to the track, watch on Gone to the Dogs. But yeah, my key is to promote ground racing.
Come on and give us a nap. I know the next best has been turned over, which we'll see, I'm sure. But give us the nap of the night.
Yeah, the next best was Oompa Loompa. Had about 3 to 1, 7 to 2. It's gone off about 11 away. Comes second, so disappointed with that. But the nap, it's probably not original, but match on Freddie. I just cannot see the dog getting beat. And I think Keyfield Goose in the next as well is a decent price. I think you've got a nice little double there. But all my money is going on match on Freddie. Cannot get beat.
So tell us then what you like in terms of during the race. When you see him hit the front, maybe off the last bend, we don't know where he'll do it. I think he'll win as well. How do you feel? What's that feeling when you will see him go round? Maybe in front, but he's probably got to come from behind.
If match on Freddie comes in front, you'll hear me. You'll hear how I'm feeling at that moment in time. But no, it's like anything really. If you put the work into it and your work pays off, you get a sense of pride. You get a sense of pride. With that, then though, you put the hard work in and it results in profit. It's just a really, really good feeling. One of the best feelings actually that are probably out there. I love doing it. I do get down when I lose, but when I win, I make sure that I really enjoy it.
There we go, guys. Thank you very much. That's Barking Mad Betting. You can find it on YouTube. Ryan Wilder, keep going with it. Been very successful. Danny, I know you've watched plenty of it.
I have. I've watched every single episode so far. It's great when he loses. No. But no, it's fabulous. I mean, Ryan's always entertaining, to be fair. So if you haven't watched it, and I know the Keneally brothers obviously will support each other, but it's really, really good. I think the Keneallys are taking over, Dan.
Well, did you see the media tipping competition, Danny? Which, of course, you know, we all fancy our chances at, don't we? You know, we all go in there, all guns blazing. And so Mick, obviously, Joe and Ryan's dad, who's now back as the general manager, did a brilliant job before, leading the table. And I think I'm right in saying either Joe or Ryan, one of them's 5th, one of them's 6th, but they're, you know, what's going on here? It's a takeover.
Well, they know their onions, that is for sure. They do.
You need to know all about onions, then,
Yes.
you think, to tip dogs?
You do, yeah.
OK, I'm learning something. Thank you.
I was listening to a song called Green Onions before, apparently. So anyway, outside, they were doing a pop quiz.
I feel I know that song. Is it instrumental or are there words to it? Or?
I'm not really
Anyway,
sure,
don't
but
worry.
yeah.
We'll move on.
So yeah, they do know their greyhounds. Obviously, they've been steeped in greyhound history, really, because they were doing Coventry and all that kind of thing. So I know Mick's thrilled to be back, even though I don't think he's actually slept since he took back over the general manager's job. But Barking Mad Betting, I think one video's had 25,000 views. So if that's kind of your thing, do have a look at it. It's on YouTube at the moment. He's on Instagram. He's on TikTok. He's on all that kind of stuff as well. So he's very enthusiastic, as you can see. You know, he loves the game. So yeah, it's great to just get an insight into what it's like to be a full-time gambler.
Walk round, is that OK?
Yeah,
wander around the studio. I mean, others can. So yeah.
The four-legged kind can,
exactly.
Yeah. He's off for a while.
Oh, what's those? Oh, the plants have gone. I knew this was going to happen.
Gone.
Just carry on, dear viewer.
It's
Don't worry
okay.
about that, yeah.
Right, we've got Heat 16 coming up shortly. It's okay, pal. It's all right, I promise. It's fine. Don't worry. And I can hear our production manager screeching in the
There is always an issue, isn't there, with plants and greyhounds, or dogs generally. I mean, I won't go any further.
And they do say don't work with animals, don't they? But anyway. Trap 3 is the favourite Keyfield Goose in this next race at 7 to 4, 15 to 8 for Boyle Sports Blue, 11 to 4 for Kilmore Dancer, 4 to 1 Sing-Along Molly. It's 25 for Make It Paddington and Loxley's Troy at 33 to 1. Now the one that fascinates me, Sing-Along Molly, daughter of Derby winner Drota's Wildcat, who we saw just a few moments ago. Will she take to Toaster like her dad? She's not had a look around, but I feel like Pat Buckley wouldn't have brought her if he didn't think she was going to go well.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd kind of use that generally as a Pat Buckley line, wouldn't you, to be fair? So we're having a look at this this action from Boyle Sports Blue. 6th of April this was, beating Kevin's Rocket, and beating Kevin's Rocket by a long way, ultimately on this occasion. Then, of course, went on to run in the Juvenile, didn't really get any kind of chance to shine on that occasion. The race that Proper Heiress very much made his own, but he bags the inside here. He's got some decent enough splits. He's got a dog who's not had a lot of racing, drawn in 2 here. It can show a bit of early, actually, but might just edge away a little bit from the fence. So should be racing room, you'd hope, for Boyle Sports Blue, who I think was 3 from, well, it is 3 from 6 in Ireland from trap 1, so the draw should be absolutely spot on.
And he was in Irish Juvenile Derby finalist as well, Boyle Spurts Blue. I know we saw him over here in the Juvenile, wasn't he?
Yeah. Down the field, unfortunately, on that occasion. But a big price. That was a big ask.
It was. I mean, he was against Proper Heiress, March on Freddie, Wiki Ned, Bocco's Diamond. You know, he's...
You're scaring him now, all those big names. You're frightening
You're
now.
okay, boyo, you're okay. But no, I thought Keyfield Goose had a decent chance in this for Phil Milner. He's at it again. He's drinking my drink again. I don't know what it is about my drink. You've got a bowl over there, pal. But Keyfield Goose...
Well, I think I know what it is. There's obviously something in that drink, isn't there, on a Friday night?
But not tonight. Not tonight. I'm being professional a little bit. But yeah, so Keyfield Goose, British bred Derby finalist, second in the Cat 2 Champion Stakes last year on Derby final night. He knows how to run here at Toaster. And Phil Milner, I mean, he's got a great operation, hasn't he, over in Yorkshire. And all the best to Keyfield Goose. Yeah,
look, he's one of those trainers who I would say in the last, 12, 15 months has kind of really made it big. And, you know, we're hailing Keyfield Goose, not least of all, Danny, because he is a British bred. He obviously runs this track very, very well. This is competitive, isn't it? And, in fact, this morning, Kilmore Dancer, I like Kilmore Dancer, fourth in the blue room for Mark Wallace. That greyhound was favoured, but... if you want to follow the money, you'll be with Keith. You're not listening to me at all.
I am.
No, you don't have to. I'd rather listen to him. But Keyfield Goose has gone from being around 3-1 this morning to touch 7-4. Actually goes back out to 9-4. But definitely more money for 3 than there has been for 4.
Well, here is the parade. Trap 1, Boyle Sports Blue for Mr Boyle and Paul Hennessy, the Irish Juvenile Derby finalist, as... the red jacket tonight at 7-4, 33-1 for trap 2, Make It Paddington, complete unknown, 2 runs, 1 fall, puppy, July 23, so we'll have to wait and see how he takes to Toaster. We've got Keyfield Goose in trap 3, British bred Derby finalist, second in the Cat 2 Champion Stakes on final night last year for Phil Milner and Cunningham. Trap 4, Kilmore Dancer was 4th in the Blue Ribbon final this year for Mark Wallace and the MWD Partnership. I know Michelle of the MWD Partnership likes his chances. Loxley's Troy, shown speed at Nottingham and could surprise by running on well for Jason Gray and Robin Hood Racing. And Trap 6, Sing Along Molly, daughter of Dorothy's Wildcat, who won in 2018, of course. But will she take to Toaster? I think she will, Pat Buckley, with the stripes at 4-1.
Yeah, I thought this was, you know, difficult enough. I've come down on Kilmore Dancer, as you say, finalist in the blue ribbon, took a tumble in the heats of the Laurels, did win from 5 in Drumbo in Ireland, and has a great record here. The consistency just edged me that way, but no result amongst the top 3 certainly would surprise me. And, you know, you mentioned Pat Buckley's Sing Along Molly on the outside as well. This is a good heat. A couple of big price runners, Frank Gray and Jason Gray, 33-1 chances. But as they say, you know, if you're not in it, blah, blah, blah. So.
You can't win it. Joe, who do you fancy here?
Yeah, been a tough night so far, Danny. I'm with Keyfield Goose. He's my next best in trap 3. I was so impressed with how he ran beyond cheap sandwiches on the 20th of April, Easter Sunday. Ran a burster in that race. Had Untold Ruble on his inside. Now, he hasn't got that here. He's got Boyle Sports Blue, Make It Paddington, who he should lead if he comes away. And if he can do that, 28.83 trial last time out, I'd have him clear in 1 and 2. And then it's what Kilmore Dancer does. We know all about Kilmore Dancer. He is as fast as they come. But he's got a quirk. He's been marked awkward in the past. Hopefully they've straightened him out. Because if they have, they've got a hell of a ground here who can go very deep in this competition. And we heard from Pat Buckley as well, Sing Along Molly. He thinks a hell of a lot of her. A September 22 out of Dorothy's Wildcat. But next best is 3, Keyfield Goose. He was around 3-1 earlier. I thought that was a more than fair price. If he comes away and leads, he'll win.
So, cracking race coming up here with the favourite in trap 1 at 7-4, Boyle Sports Blue, 9-4 for Keyfield Goose, 11-4 for Kilmore Dancer, 7-2 Sing Along Molly, and 40-1 for the other pair. I've lost my pal, Darryl. I've lost him. He's gone. His mum's taken him away because he's drinking out of his other people's glasses, knocking plants over and having a little bit of a wander around the studio. But he's thrilled now that his mum's come to pick him up. Gail May is taking him back outside, I think, to have a bit of a calm down. But cracking race coming up, I think.
It's a cracking race, and we've had 3 different favourites, haven't we? Because all through the day, Kilmore Dancer was favourite. When I was talking about Keyfield Goose suddenly being elevated to favouritism, and now, just before the off, and is that the most significant move of the lot? Boyle Sports Blue for Paul Hennessy. Of course, won the first heat last night with JT Craze. Is now 7-4 market lead. Remember, he's got that great record in Trap 1 in Ireland. So, I don't know, is that the dog we should be on? Who knows?
Who knows? We'll know in about, well, probably a minute now, because they're about to go behind the boxes here at Toaster for heat number 16. I can't believe we're up to heat 16 already. Heat 21 we'll get to tonight, and then heat 32 with 11 races
Well, this will be
on the
halfway,
card.
won't it, then? Once we've run this,
yeah.
we're 48 qualifiers halfway.
Flipping heck.
Already?
It's flown by,
Just
Darryl,
sat
honestly.
down.
Absolutely flown by. Wow. OK, so we're almost set. They are behind the boxes. Starters there ready to go. Our production manager handily cleaning up Eric's mess after messily drinking out of my cup for the second time tonight. So we go to PL.
A wave of the flag and the hare is running. Hare's on the move then. Stand by for a start. Hare approaches. Hare behind boxes. And they're off and racing, and 3 Keyfield Goose has come out like a scolded cat and leads into the turn ahead of Make It Paddington, who's going to turn second, just runs off a little bit, and 6 is trying to make ground. Sing Along Molly down the far side, and she will be staying on. Down the far side then Keyfield Goose has a 3-length lead from Sing Along Molly, who's now got him in her sights. Then there's a gap back to Kilmore Dancer as they come round the final turn. It's Keyfield Goose still with the lead. Sing Along Molly is edging closer, but she won't get there. Keyfield Goose will make all. He was very close for third. I think Ball Sports Blue has forced a photo with Kilmore Dancer. But a great win for Keely Cunningham and Phil Milner.
Super win for Keyfield Goose. Popped out, made all, barely saw another rival. He knows how to run Toaster. He's now 16 from 45 in his career. Boom, out the boxes. That was that. Game over, Darryl.
Pretty much, wasn't it, here? Great start. Loves the track. Joe was very sweet on the chances after that cheap sandwiches line, which, you know, you can absolutely see now, some of us in hindsight. Sing Along Molly has got out of the pack, and although she's not quite able to reel in the winner here with her 600-yard form in Ireland from just the other week, I mean, she's a winner about to happen. So, next time, you'd think. And then who's qualified for third? Sorry.
Trap 1.
You think one's got up, yeah?
Yeah, I think one's got up for third over Kilmore Dancer, to be honest, but we'll wait for the result. 3, I mean, has just veered out ever so slightly from the boxes, but it doesn't matter when you're that clear into the first bend, does it? So, yeah, good performance from all of them out the traps, really. They've kept to their racing lines on the whole, but Keyfield Goose, yeah, cracking effort. And Sing Along Molly, she might be one of those that just keeps qualifying because maybe she doesn't have the pace early, but she will really stick it out in the closing stages, and she might just be one of those that sneaks under the radar, and she may well win top bitch, you never know, because I think quite a few people were saying she was quite a big price in that market, so if she keeps running like that, who knows?
Okay, good candidate to have on side. Now, where is Ryan? There he is. Don't know who he's talking to, but he's giving it some, as they say.
Oh, he's got his camera. He's ready for Barking Mad Betting, isn't he? So he's very happy. I think that everywhere he goes, that camera goes with him now.
It's actually glued to his hand, isn't it? I think permanently now.
I think so, yeah.
I think you can get that done, actually. It seems, so, yeah. But
Maybe
of course, it was
one.
Joe's next best as well. I'm sure there must be occasions when Joe and Ryan don't agree on a selection. That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
When those situations happen.
Well, they can't have agreed on everything because they were fifth. I think they were first, fifth, and sixth or whatever in the next table, weren't they? So
that would be a good blog or whatever, wouldn't it? When they're not agreeing on one, big difference of opinion.
Maybe that's an idea for next week. Actually, we've got the draw. Anyway, oh no, they're away next week playing golf.
The middle of the Derby.
Don't know, honestly, Darryl, it's me and you holding the fort again. Right, we have got people on phones, I think, here. Connections maybe elsewhere that haven't managed to get to the track and going, yes, we've won! So, fabulous to see Keyfield Goose winning. British Bred Derby finalist, of course. Second in the Cat 2 last year, the Champion Stakes, and winner of the first round heat, number 16. And we were just talking about Joe, we can go back to him.
Thank you, Danny. Bit of a delay getting Keyfield Goose on the podium because Gavin O'Mahony had Phil Milner on FaceTime for Keely to see and he must be absolutely delighted, as will Keeley be, and Natalie here, Natalie Ireland, who works for Phil Milner and Keeley. We're going to speak to Keeley Cunningham in a sec, just get the pictures out of the way. But a fantastic performance as well, I must say. He's flew out the boxes. We've seen that from this dog. He's got so much speed. Just keep him there for a sec, Keeley. We'll come and have a quick chat. But what a run from him. He's flew out the boxes. He's been put under pressure there, and he's managed to stay really well and win in the end. Keeley Cunningham is with me. You must be absolutely thrilled with that. What a run.
Yeah, to be homebred, having out of Tarzan Atalanta, our bitch, and then our stud Droopy's edition, to win a Derby heat. Yeah, he loves this track. He loves the curved traps. He bangs out. And yeah, I just over the moon with him.
We've seen the best out of him from the likes of Doncaster and he, as you say, them curved boxes. He just flies out of them, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he loves it at Doncaster, loves it here. He's been in 3 Cat 1 finals, so I can't fault him. He's come on a lot and matured lovely. Last year, we put him in being a youngster, but he had. We realised that he had tonsillitis, so he had to have his tonsils out. And ever since then, it's not looked back. He's stayed lovely, stayed nice and strong now, doing better times, and yeah, he's in it. Yeah, really happy.
He's a lively. He was 300 to 1 this dog to win the Greyhound Derby this year. Now, if you keep coming away like that, that won't be there for long.
No, I have no idea what the time was that he did, but yeah, he's very consistent. And he's, like I said, staying much better now, so I can't ask for any more at the moment.
And you spoke to Phil on FaceTime, I just saw you speaking to Gary. He must be thrilled. And the kids?
And the kids, they're still awake as well, so they should be in bed, but I'll let him off. But yeah, no, absolutely over the moon.
Fantastic. That's what it's all about, guys. Honestly, the family involvement as well with the kids. Phil at home. Congratulations to you, Phil. And the kids as well.
Yeah.
Go and get him a drink, Keeley. Well done.
Thank you. Good night, kids.
Bet clever, bet good win. Proud sponsors of Gone to the Dogs. Bet good win, bet good win, bet good win.
They're all in for the 2017 Star Sports Greyhound Derby final. The flag has been waved. It's a new chapter in the history of this fabulous race. A test of speed, perseverance, stamina and alacrity. Who will win? Away they go. It's a great start from Astute Missile in 4, leading from Higher Butt in 1 as they go round the bend. Slow away was Murray's Act as they come round the turn. Higher Butt takes over. Astute Missile in 2nd. Tyra Shea and Claire's Rocket come next. Then after these comes Droopy's Acrobat. Astute Missile gets inside and goes on. It's Astute Missile, but Tyra Shea is coming at it as they come off the final bend. Astute Missile staying strong will go and win the Star Sports Greyhound Derby final. What a run from the Greyhound. He produced an unbelievable start. The rank outsider of the field has won at 28 to 1. It's the 32nd running here of the William Hill Greyhound Derby here at the stadium. Plough Lane, Wimbledon. Here comes the hare. Get ready for the action. What's set for this year? We're about to find out as the hare comes round and away they go. Running up towards the first bend. Higher Butt shows the pace up. JT Jet in the position on the outside. Off these comes Lenson Rocky. They go down the far side. Higher Butt by 2 lengths over 1 Lenson Rocky in 2nd. After these comes JT Jet and they reach the 3rd bend. Higher Butt still there. Lenson Rocky coming. After these, Droopy's Roddick. JT Jet towards the line. It's going to be very close between JT Jet wins the William Hill Greyhound Derby final from Droopy's Roddick in 2nd place.
Now, I don't know about you, Daryl, but we are both commentators. And Errol, for me, is the absolute goat. Because
he just turns that screw, doesn't he, for those races? I mean, another notch. Two or three notches, probably, to be fair.
It's just unreal. I mean, we were talking off air as well, as I did ask you, do you prefer to be sitting here talking about the racing or do you prefer to commentate? And what was your answer?
I mean, my answer was I'll do whatever I'm asked to do, but there is a real pleasure in commentating, particularly on a big race, because it's something, everything's archived these days, but the fact is, and you only get the one chance, of course.
Yes.
You get it wrong, you get it wrong. Sometimes, you got to hold your hands up. And you can't really prepare. You can have an idea as to what you might include if such, but you have to have that at the back of your mind. But it's a great opportunity to call a race, and you know, particularly some of those that Errol's called through the years. I mean, they are just historic. Those great lines from Westmead Hawk, etc. We were talking about it earlier, weren't we, in the preview programme, and Joe said actually it was the quarter-final with the, oh my God, he's got there. So that I do love. But, of course, watching those two back, I was just looking at the 2017, which was the first host derby. Obviously, most people know that I had an interest in Droopers Acrobat. But what came back in my mind just watching that, well, we had a big marquee here at Toaster that year, which was on the grass and allowed the owners and every other connection who wanted to be a part of it to be a little bit closer. But you remember, obviously, it used to be a national hunt racetrack here, so there was a fence in the middle of the marquee, because obviously they couldn't remove it. So you get your buffer, you just had to avoid the fence.
Brilliant. Only at Toaster.
Only at Toaster.
I love looking back at all the old races, like Clive and Dave Lawrence have put through, you know, the archive together on YouTube, and you can relive loads of moments, not just from the Derby, but from loads of different competitions. So do have a look at that if you do like looking at old races. It's just so much fun to relive the action from days gone by. We are going to, I think, have the result of our last race. And that was Heat 16, the win time 28.90 for Keyfield Goose at 2-1. Cracking run for the sing-along Molly at 100-30, and Trap 1 Boyle Sports Blue was third, 13-8. Favourite commiserations to those who didn't make it through to next week's
Kilmore Dancer, I mean, just nabbed on the line for third. That must have been a very, very close photograph for third. We're 16 races in. Score between, I was going to say us and them, that's wrong, isn't it? Between them. It's not quite that stage yet. Between the British Greyhounds and the Irish Greyhounds is 8 each.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're doing well. We are doing well.
We take a draw. We take a draw.
We're doing better than we do at Cheltenham.
Exactly, yeah.
So that is
Thank
good.
goodness Willie Mullins doesn't trade, mind you, with Graham here and Pat and Liam and Paul Hennessy and,
Yeah, we'll see where we are in a few weeks' time, Darryl. March on Freddy is coming up. Now, this lad, I had the pleasure to call him home, actually, talking about commentaries in the Puppy Classic last year. What a run. I mean,
what an easy commentary.
Oh, it was. I mean, it was so easy. You know, he just blew past everything as if they were stood still. This was, more recently, March on Freddy, who did manage to win back on the 27th of... Sorry, came second, didn't he? Apologies.
Pat, wasn't it? Yeah,
yes.
This was the run on the 20th. I thought for a moment we might sing that classic, but... yeah, I mean, it's a decent run in defeat. Obviously, ran fourth in the juvenile at a big price on that occasion. The key, I suppose, to him going through this derby is that, you know, he's a wide seed, isn't he? He's going to get his draw, of course. You remember that Kent Plate when he came up against...
Proper Heiress.
That's the one. Momentarily. Yeah, I mean, he didn't quite live up to the expectations because Proper Heiress was just on fire on that occasion, as has been the case many times.
Yeah.
But Irish Derby semi-finalist, and we'd love to see him go a long, long way, wouldn't we, for David Mullins?
Yeah.
David's a great thinker in greyhound racing.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you've interviewed him, but you ask him a question and you can see the thought process going through as he's delivering his answer. He normally asks you what you're going to ask me, but...
He did it, to be fair,
Yeah.
on the podcast last year. We got Solo Mio there, second in the Conan and Kirby Memorial for Peter Cronin, June 23 Pup. Burrows Charm, fourth in the Maiden Derby final, and reached the third round of the Irish Derby last year for Jason Heath and the Burrows. Fabulous Arias got a lot of speed early, has won plenty of sprints. That might just see her through for Patrick Janssens and Dave Firminger. Flashing Fender, 0 from 5 in Ireland, but still a young pup. August 23, Ballymac Best and Ballymac Ariel. 5 is vacant, and Trap 6 is March on Freddy. Puppy Classic winner, Irish Derby semi-finalist, got the fastest time in the field, 28.81, recorded back on the 13th of April. Since then, he's been in the juvenile, finished 4th, and in the VT, we finished 2nd behind Bombay Pat. He missed his kick ever so slightly in the juvenile, but this lad, I mean, he is a champion. However, I actually thought... I'm going with March on Freddy, but I did think Fabulous Aria might have a good chance to just ping out here And if she stays the 500 quite strongly, which I think she might be able to eke it out, I think she's going to qualify for sure.
Yeah, I had her as my second choice. I mean, I had 6-3-1, which is probably... Actually, no, not quite, is it? Third favourite, second favourite, as you see it as well. Yeah, look, 28.89 the win. The trial was a little bit slower than that, but 4-9 now. They're getting stuck in.
They are indeed, Joe.
Yeah, thank you, Danny. Thank you. Here we go. Then March on Freddie. We can see on the board he's 1-2. Lofty, how has the night gone so far? Are we in front or are we behind?
Nothing in it again, like my fridge. Most times I get there. No, it's been very quiet tonight, to be fair, Joe. Looking for a few punters turning up. Did lay a 2,500 at the 6s to trade, so we got a little bit of it in the book anyway. But yeah, it's a lot quieter tonight. The punters who were here last night aren't here tonight.
Frostbite.
I don't know, yeah. The sun's starting to go in now. I'm a bit brave with my shirt. I know I might be in a minute. I'm trying to buy my jacket, Joe. I think it should fit me, shouldn't it? So I'll be all right. But yeah, no, it's fairly steady and quiet. Hopefully, lay this, but we've got a little bit in the book anyway. A couple of lays I fancy getting beat later on. Antigua Kestrel in the next race. So, but I tried to lay Romeo still early on and couldn't lay it off the floor. So you know, it's one of them things. If you can't lay dogs, you can't lay dogs here.
What do you think, Martin Freddie? You think he wins?
I'd be against him at the price, but he's found a reasonably soft eat, and you know, one spins off, done it. So I think if he gets any sort of run, he probably will win. But 1-2, I'm happy to take a chance. He's 2-5 behind, so they're not really knocked over in the bus, like you can see. So.
There we go, and we heard from Barky Man betting Ryan. He's steaming in this race.
He is. He's got his little handheld. He'll be absolutely buzzing if March on Freddie is going to be leading at any point in the race, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose he's just had those 2 runs here, hasn't he? So he's still finding his way around the track, I guess you could say. I mean, nothing wrong with the 28.82 behind Bombay Pat, and the draw's got to be worth an absolute ton, hasn't it, really, here? That's the thing.
And when I was speaking to Dave Mullins last year on the podcast, he was saying, you know, he's a dog that likes to have a bit of consistency. When he was going through the Nottingham Puppy Classic, he was getting better with every start and every trial stake. So he's one of those that likes to be at the same track for a while, and we'll see what happens with PL.
And the hare is on the move. Hare runs then for heat 17 of the 2025 Greyhound Derby. First round. And off from Racing and 4 gets a flyer. Flashing Fender, early pace from Solomeo up on the inside to grab the lead at the initial turn and goes on now. Solomeo just running off a true line. Flashing Fender has turned in second spot. Then comes Burrow's Charm. And March on Freddie has got work on. Relegating now Fabulous Aura to be the back mark around the last 2 curves. Solomeo, he was runner-up in the curve. He's out in front. Now March on Freddie's got a head of steam up towards the line. 1 all out from 6. Solomeo hangs on from the fast finishing March on Freddie with Flashing Fender qualifying back in third. 1, 6 and 4. Just got a little bit flat-footed there, March on Freddie, but he did run on well and qualified gallantly in second posse.
I just saw Ryan with his usual, oh my days. Solo Mio, though, has won for Peter Cronin and Mr. Comerford. He was second in the Conan and Kirby Memorial. He has won his first round Derby heat. Now 6, March on Freddie, 3, Fabulous Aria, both of whom we thought might pace up well to the bend, have both missed it, Darryl.
Yeah, we didn't see that coming, did we? And, you know, this could have gone, I guess, disastrously wrong, couldn't it? But March on Freddie, to his credit, has got himself back into the race, big style. But let's give a lot of respect to Solomeo, as Paul reminded us, of course, second in the Kirby, you know, such a massive event, throws up so many top class greyhounds. Pete's only got 2 in the competition, actually one went out last night, so this is his sole representative, but, you know, one will be enough, of course, and had the trial the other day, what was it, sub 16 seconds, I think, the sprint trial. It's a good effort, it's a good introductory effort, still a pup, June 23.
And he's just done a 29.02. Now, no one kept their race in line apart from March on Freddie there, I don't think. They all moved off, but Solo Mio has managed to win in a good time. 29.02 is the time tonight for him. And March on Freddie, I mean, he's done an awful lot of running late, hasn't he? And he just needs to pace up a little bit better, because he can't give better dogs or good dogs a start like this going through the rounds, can he?
No, absolutely, but you know, he's a young dog learning his ways, and I'm sure Peter will be working on getting further progress out of him in due course. You know, he's come here without really a chance to have a proper look at the track. Just that sprint trial time obviously ran out, but look, he's done what he's had to do tonight, and March on Freddie in the end. You know, we may look back on this in 3 or 4 weeks' time in the hope that he's there and thereabouts in the competition and go, yeah, a little blip in the first round, but I'm sure David will be philosophical about this.
Ah. I do love watching Ryan's reactions. Honestly, if you've not watched Barking Mad Betting, it is quite... It's funny because when he's high, he's high. When he's low, obviously, it's not great, but he's always doing it in good humour.
But isn't that the great thing about these kind of pods and broadcasts where, you know, it is warts and all, isn't it? You know, you're seeing it with the success when everything's going right, but also you're getting, and in a way, I suppose, that's what it's like, isn't it? When you're wagering on any kind of event, you'll get your moments that go your way and the moments that don't. So it's good to see the whole picture.
It is. Right, we're going to go back to Joe.
Thank you, Danny. A brilliant performance from Sol Mio, as we've just seen there in the Star Sports TRC English Derby Round 1 Heat 17. We're going to come to Pete Cronin now. Only brought 2 to the Derby this year, and a sad story last night with Randolph Scott's. Firstly, Pete, how is Randolph Scott's?
He's very comfortable. In fairness to Polly, she's done a great job with him, you know, so she's looked after him, so we'll get him operated on, and that's it, like, you know, so, yeah.
Fantastic, and look, a consolation, he can run, this boy.
Oh, listen, you know, he's only a pup, to be honest. He's only a couple of races, right? We kind of rushed him into it. He ran up to Kirby, a bit like Kildare did a couple of years ago, something similar profile, you know. He was, you could see he was finding his way around the bends, like, you know, a little bit, to be fair. He left a little bit on the track, you know. And I thought he checked coming up the home straight, just didn't know where he was going a little bit, you know. But look, the first round's out of the way, and I think he'd improve a ton for that, like, you know, yeah.
You had a strong runner behind you, of course, in March on Freddie, so he's doing well to hold him off.
I think this boy will stay stronger. Like, I think he was just fiddling his way around the track, like, a little bit, you know. So, look, I think if he get out in front again, like, it'd be difficult to peg back again, you know, yeah.
You said similarities there to Kildare. We all know that he made the final. He was second in that. Yeah. I know we're a long way away, but can he do it?
Yeah, he's a good little pup now, you know, he is. I think he can get stronger as the competition goes on. He's bred again by Aidan Comfort, you know, similar profile again, you know. He's by Coolvalley Hoffa and that, like, so I think he will stay stronger, you know, as the competition goes on, hopefully, yeah.
It's congratulations, well done, and we'll see you next week. Good luck in the draw Sunday.
Appreciate it, thanks a lot.
Pardon me.
Soleil Mio, the winner, 29.02 at 6-1, beats March on Freddie, the 2-5 favourite, and Flashing Fender in third, 28-1, has qualified for the second round.
Bet Clever, Bet Goodwin, proud sponsors of Gone to the Dogs.
Is this a changing of the guard after the dominance of Lister and Sava? 2014 William Hill Greyhound Derby is about to be set in motion as the hare comes round. Off they go and 2 breaks fast. Salad Dodger. Here comes 1 Croker's Champ on the inside. Handy for Mind the Net. They go round the bend. Trouble for Mind the Net. He's last. Croker's Champ leads. 2 Salad Dodger in second. 3 Droopy's War trying to close up on the inside. Third bend approaches. Croker's Champ. Droopy's Ward's finding a way through. Coming to challenge Salad Dodger and Croker's Champ. They can kick Greg Rory. Towards the line they go. It's Salad Dodger. Salad Dodger. A huge upset. Beats 3 Droopy's Ward and 1 Croker's Champ. Bruno Berwick and Ron Mills at 16-1 has rewritten the history books with a fantastic run from Salad Dodger, who will definitely be eating steak for the rest of his life. What a great run. I I can't believe what I've just seen. Salad Dodger has won the William Hill Greyhound Derby.
Errol's not the only one who could believe what he's seen with Salad Dodger winning. And a man, we're trying to say great memories, but for this man here, Mike Davis, owner of Mind the Net, that wasn't so great watching back, was it?
No, that was a bit of a nightmare. I don't actually watch that, and that's the first time I've seen it in about 10 years.
Cheers, guys. So, Mike, 2 days in or 2 evenings in so far into the Star Sports and TRC Ground Derby. Loads of work going on, as we know. I've been here with 2 days and you haven't stopped. Pleased with how things are going?
Yeah, happy. We've got lots going on, as you said, Joan, and we haven't stopped, and we're not going to stop. We've got lots to do, and the first thing for me is making sure people, when they come in the door, they feel welcome, they come and see good racing, and they're treated to an atmosphere and an environment that is buzzing. I'm coming out here today, it's still buzzing.
Yeah, it's lovely out here as well, now that sunset, and that famous toast of sunset that we're going to get Dom to get in a minute. But talk to us about the Dodge Proper RS last night. Got beat, of course, in second, but must be pleased with how he ran.
Yeah, not disappointed at all, really. Got out-trapped, went round, looked like he could win the race, but yeah, he's qualified and he's come off and he's good to go next week.
Plenty of runners tomorrow, I know, so talk to us about your runners tomorrow.
Okay, I'm going to remember them. Okay, I've got a Vagard tomorrow, and I put a few quid on her to be top bitch. I think she's got a cracking chance to be in top bitch. We've got another bitch, Fabulous Sonique's going again tomorrow, so yeah, looking forward to her. Just get her out trapping. I couldn't believe she was actually in front of Vega in the market for top bitch, so just goes to show you what I know. Tabletoppers. We've got a lot of the new guys involved with that one coming along tomorrow. We're going to have a good crowd and a good experience.
Just talk to us about that then, Mike. So obviously, half the 51% or 50% of the shares sold to Basher Watts. He sold his shares in a record time. Just talk to us about that sale.
Well, more to the point actually, that Basher's coming into the partnership for this dog, and it's we've got an opportunity to get out there and show more people what greyhound racing's all about, especially at the top. And if we can get him through a couple of rounds, I think it'd be a great atmosphere and a great experience for getting more people in.
Fantastic, Mike. Keep up the great work. All the very best with the runners tomorrow night. And unfortunately, lost Kilmore Dancer short. Teddy was desperate there, and new in DJ as well. But you've still got massive chances, including Proper Era. So all the very best, and thank you for everything you're doing for this sport.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, he's doing a phenomenal job, of course, with Toaster Racecourse. I mean, Dal, you've been to Toaster quite a few times over the years. You've noticed a difference this year?
Yeah, and it's so important, isn't it, for Toaster as well, because this is the premier track, this is the home of the Greyhound Derby. We've got to make it inviting for people. You know, people have got to come once and they want to come back again because they love what's going on and what's happening, and the attention to detail is so important. And, of course, we're talking about the Derby final, which is 5 weeks away. It's an all-dayer, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, 10 o'clock in the morning, I think the gates are opening, yep. Funfair rides, stalls going on, and then hopefully people will please stay around for the Derby and everything afterwards. But, yeah, we've got to make it so good that you need to find a reason not to come.
Yeah, I agree. I could not agree more. I mean, I know they've put a lot of work into sprucing the place up because it did need that little paint, maybe a bit of a I was going to say sandblast then, a power wash. So I got sprayed with it the other day, to be fair, on rehearsal day. They were power washing the balcony up here. Yeah. So they really are putting the work in. Mike's putting his money where his mouth is, and he really is making a difference. And I've heard from many people that have been to Toaster over the years, you know, you can see the gradual improvements that they're making. It's not going to happen overnight, so it's not going to be perfect this year necessarily, but this will be a stamp of what will come in the future. So, you know, that's what we've got to hope, that we are going to make this the hub for greyhound racing, and it's going to be the best it's ever been.
Yeah, look, the biggest venue for the biggest event, that's what it comes down to, and you've got to make it so that people need to make excuses, as I say, not to come to this event, whether you make it next week or 3 weeks' time, whatever it is. But you know, look, it's fairly central, isn't it, in the country, Toaster? Yeah. We're quite close to the Midlands, so unless you're living maybe in the Orkneys or somewhere like that, and it's a bit of a ride, I mean, it's doable, it's doable. He says that living 100 miles away, but yeah, it's worth the effort, isn't it? It's worth the effort.
It is, and like you say, it is open from 10 a.m. in the morning. There's plenty of kids' stuff. We're going to have face painting. There's loads of stuff that the kids can get involved with. I think we're going to have a play area. There's definitely going to be like stilt walkers and what have you floating about. We've got the fun fair as well. You will see me on the fun fair. I'm putting my hair up that day, so that it doesn't blow away. But yes, I will be definitely going on the funfair just to blow out a few cobwebs before the show. Anyway, here we go. For heat number 18, Trap 1, Savannah Marapi was third in the BGBF Puppy Cup and was a British Breeders' Stakes finalist for Diane Henry. Droopy's Pivotal, Derby semi-finalist last year and has had 2 Cat 1 finals since then for Maxine Locke and the JR Racing Syndicate, 9-4. Antigua Kestrel, Eclipse finalist, reached second round last year for Kevin Hutton. This is Kevin's only runner in the Derby, and he's got a lot of speed, this lad. Trap 4, Roanna Two-Stroke, won an A3 at Yarmouth recently. This might be a tough task for the Pamela Cross runner. And then Trap 5 is vacant, and Trap 6, Dynamic Force, has been mixing it with Top Company in Ireland. So for Paul Hennessy, got the draw on the outside and has got a bit of speed up into that first bend. So we'll see how he gets on his second run in the UK. This is Antigua Kestrel, who has got a lot of speed, I think, this lad. All-rounder for me, Darryl.
Yeah, this is Central Park, isn't it? Back in January, this was a £1,000, I think it's a £1,000 final here, and it's going to get up literally on the line. Ballymac Axel is actually the dog who is just about to be overtaken by Antigua Kestrel, who's after Romeo Kingpin, who's in front, and will run that rival down. Respectable 29.08 on the clock. Has obviously had a fair bit of racing since then. Eclipse finalist last year, and ran well at Perry Bar, I think was semi-finalist in the Laurels. But of course we heard, didn't we, from Lofty, this is one that he wants to take on in the ring. So anybody trackside here wants to back Antigua Kestrel, go and see Lofty, you'll get a price.
Joe, though, who do you fancy in this one?
Yeah, he's 7-4 here, Antigua Kestrel, and down the card 20-1, 7-4, 7-4, 20s and 6-4 is the market. So it looks a 3-dog race between Droopy's Pivotal, Antigua Kestrel and Dynamic Force. Now, Droopy's Pivotal was much bigger earlier. I'm going to be with Dynamic Force, though, for Paul Hennessy. Haven't seen Paul yet. He wouldn't have caught yesterday with JT Craig's got off to a flyer, along with him on the outside. Nothing in Trap 5. We're seeing 6 dogs run well. I think this dog can do the same here. Behind Ballymac Kobe in his trial, 29.08 in his trial here off a 4 dead sectional. Now, the difference there, Danny, 4 dead sectional in his trial and 4.13 in his race. So he hasn't come away whatsoever in his race. If he can come away on a 4 dead, he leads all the way, yeah. But I wouldn't put anyone off Droopy's Pivotal. I can see where Lofty's coming from with Antigua Kestrel, because I think Droopy's Pivotal leads him. If he catches him, that'll be some run. So I'm going to be with 6 here, Dynamic Force over Droopy's Pivotal.
All right, so maybe a forecast there if you're going with Joe. Dynamic Force and Droopy's Pivotal. I think Antigua Kestrel looks to be the obvious other qualifier here, and the other two might be slightly up against it.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say, although, you know, if you're involved with Savannah Marapi or Roanna Two-Stroke, you're thinking we've only got to get one of the others out of the frame, one of the top 3 to get a qualifying spot as an individual notice. Droopy's Pivotal's gone favourite now and was so close to reaching the final last year. Yes. I think that's a length off qualifying. I think I'm right in saying stats earlier on, won 1 of 5 rounds last year, getting to the semi-final, so maybe not quite as effective in terms of winning races round here, but has gone favourite at 13 to 8. I agree with Joe, though. I do like the setup for Dynamic Force on the outside, but wow, what a betting heat, almost each of 3. We've only had one winning favourite, we should point out, so far tonight, and that, of course, was Delardy Dar. There have been a couple of fancied dogs, but none of them have gone off as favourite.
Wow. So, yeah, punters having a good night then tonight, I think. Oh, no, not punters.
No, then, I mean,
the other way around, bookies are having a good night.
I mean, I think sometimes we get carried away and think everybody backs every favourite, and there's nothing more annoying for me when commentary's geared towards the favourite every race, because we're not all on the favourite, but many are. Obviously, the fact it is a favourite. But, yeah, it's been tough. It's been tougher than we thought.
It has. They're ready to go.
Wave the flag, and the hare is now on the move for Heat 18. Floodlights are on here at Toaster. Stand by. Off and racing to a fairly level line, apart from Rhino Two-Stroke who missed the kick, but it's Dynamic Force who's flown into the bend and sets up a 3-length lead already, but turning second is a strong stayer, Antigua Kestrel. They're in turn clear of Savannah Marapi as they go into the 3rd turn now. Dynamic Force with a 4-length lead over Antigua Kestrel, who can't bridge the gap as yet, as they swing for home in view of the judge. Dynamic Force is well clear, and Dynamic Force beats Antigua Kestrel with 1 Savannah Marapi back in the 3rd spot.
So Dynamic Force has won, and won very cosily indeed, for heat number 18 over at Toaster. And just having a look at the race again, 6 Dynamic Force, I mean, away and gone, 2 and 3, Droopy's Pivotal and Antigua Kestrel just have a slight coming together, and then there was a bump off the home turn, and yeah, sorry, off the second bend, and Droopy's Pivotal, I hope, is okay there. For Maxine Locke, will be checked over, but 6 Dynamic Force away and gone.
Yeah, Droopy's Pivotal unfortunately taking a little bit of a clout and knocked to the rear of the field, so his derby unfortunately is over. But more importantly, let's hope, as you say, he's fine. But Dynamic Force stole this, and you know, Antigua Kestrel, strong running tight, maybe momentarily you thought had a chance, but Dynamic Force has bounced out here, or certainly showed plenty of pace up, and yeah, a lot of crowding in on the inside, the 3 runners on the inside. They've just helped Dynamic Force really massively, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. I mean, he's just kept a true line on the outside, and Dynamic Force goes on and wins well for Paul Hennessy. So cracking effort from Dynamic Force. Just to say that Droopy's Pivotal is already in the ambulance on his way to be checked over.
That's brilliant to hear. And hearing also 28.86 Dynamic Force. That is the 3rd fastest time in the derby so far. 2nd quickest of the night.
Wow.
But yeah, that's a great run, isn't it, for Paul Hennessy? Another winner for Paul Hennessy.
Yeah, 28.86. That's a way to start your derby campaign for Mr. Coco Man, Mr. Cunningham owners, and Paul Hennessy with a winner here in heat number 18. I can't believe we've only got 4 left this evening, up to, oh no, heat 21, aren't we? What are we up to? Yeah, 3 left.
3 more, isn't it?
My goodness me. Can't do maths.
Poached a bit of a lead now, 10 to 8.
Not quite 10 to 8, 20 to 9. Hey, I am here all week. They are just heading.
You are. All competition.
I am, yeah. I literally don't move from this chair, I don't think, for the next 6 weeks. But no, Dynamic Force heading towards the winner's podium. And we will get an interview with Connections shortly. Joe is there already, gearing up to ask him the questions of, great run that, wasn't it? Brilliant run. So, yeah, looking forward to it. And there's his dad as well, so it is a family affair at Toaster, Joe.
It certainly is, and yeah, obviously, our thoughts from all that gone to the dogs are with the Connections of Droopy's Pivotal. Hopefully, he is okay. He is in the ambulance on his way to see Polly the vet now, so all our thoughts are with Droopy's Pivotal and Connections, of course. But we're with Tommy from Paul Hennessy's kennel. A fantastic performance, Tommy, from Dynamic Force. He's popped out, he's led. He hasn't seen another rival, a good performance, 28.86.
Yeah, he ran well. He normally comes away, that's where he wins his races. He didn't come away the last day, but he finished well the last day, the first time round. So, delighted, happy. That's 4 through so far.
You must be pleased with that. And we said that, I was just saying to the guys in the studio, 4 dead in his trial, 4.13 in his race. So what he's done there, he's come away again there. That's why we've seen the best of him.
Yeah, well, they'll improve. All our dogs will improve. That's the way Paul takes them, nice along, nice and easy.
So the team going well. The team going well. You must be delighted with how it has gone so far.
Oh, yeah, grand. We're happy. 4 up so far, 4 through. So keep fingers crossed with 3 more tomorrow night. So that's all.
3 more tonight. Give us a quick word on the 3 tomorrow.
They've all chances. Well, Bob was in the final last year, as you know. He'll be coming off the pace, as you know. Lenny hasn't hit the gate yet. Fast dog, and Barefoot on Fire, as you know. He's won round here, so he is what he is. He hits the gate, it is. Runs, just hoping for good runs. That's it. Come on, safe.
That's the most important thing, absolutely. Tommy, fantastic. Go get this dog a drink. Well done. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. God bless. Thank you.
Bet Goodwin, proud sponsors of Gone to the Dogs. Bet clever, bet Goodwin.
And they're away and racing, and 6 gets a flashy break. New in Benny up on the outside, an early dash to go with it and clears the field. Coming off the last bend, they're well clear of the 4 run, and Racket or Brute running on late up towards the line. 6 holds on. New in Benny from Missile 1, who put up a gritty effort with qualification back in 3rd for Racket or Brute. And we're off from racing and a flashy break from Hopes and Palumpa. Early pace up on the outside from Ginger Shelby to challenge. Meeting the sandwich there was no better feeling, but he's tough and he's gone round in front. And it's 4, he's kicked again, booted clear. No better feeling, yes sir. 4, 3 and 6 the qualifiers there, with Hopes and Palumpa back in second. Ginger Shelby in third. And away and racing and a good break from Tricky Wiggles up on the outside. Also on the inner is Fay Point Susie. His droopy superstar who's looming in the wing mirrors. She kicks again, Fay Point Susie. She's game and sees it out well. 2's beaten 3 with 5 Tricky Wiggles qualifying back in third.
Rachel, she loves this place, doesn't she?
Yeah, she loves this place. She's been here, it's her 3rd year in the Derby, and she's had a litter of 1 pup and just delighted. Once she got out, she'll be very hard to catch, so yeah.
Dynamic Force, our most recent winner, 28-86 at 7-4, beat Antigua. Kestrel in trap 3 at 7-4, and trap 1, Savannah Marapi 33-1. Of course, thoughts with connections of Droopy's pivotal for heat number 18 of the Star Sports and TRC English Greyhound Derby of 2025. Right, we're going to have a look at who has won so far, what times have been put on the board, and, well, I think my highlight's actually Fay Point Susie. 29.05. I just said to you off air there, Daryl, that she was great for me. I really, really enjoyed watching her. But Da-la-di-da, what a stamp of a dog, and 28.50, just unreal.
So close to the clock. What was it, 6 spots did we say off the track? Red was on another day that could easily have gone, and frighteningly it's the heat 1, or sorry, round 1.
Yeah.
And who knows? I don't know whether Liam was taken aback by quite how well Da-la-di-da ran. Yeah, just the one winning favourite, but no major shock results. I mean, last night, what was the biggest price we had last night? 6-1. 6-1, the biggest price so far. So what we're seeing from this derby is that, the real big outsiders are up against it to win heats anyway. But
yeah.
Few are qualified, absolutely.
They are. So the quickest time of the night, 28.50. Quickest split of the night, Da-la-di-da. Match killer for Gorham's of last night of 3.95. Away from Da-la-di-da, who was your highlight so far?
I mean, there's lots of good runs. Actually, if I'm taking one dog forward, I'd probably take Sing Along Molly. I know she didn't win tonight, but I'd take probably her forward for, the dog I want to be with next time. Yeah, look, there's some good runs out there. I mean, I suppose I've got to like Fay Point Harvey, haven't I, for obvious reasons as well. But the one I want to be with next time is Sing Along Molly, certainly.
Couldn't agree more, to be fair. Right, we are going to have a look at some of the later highlights as well. We had races 1 to 3 there. Here are some of the later ones.
And away and racing, and Da-la-di-da has bombed out the box, and he's dashed into the turn with a clear 4-5 length lead. He's in a hurry here. Gunslinger is next in the field, 8 lengths clear of the chasing pack, headed by Druids All Go. Then in behind this one comes Clona Curly, and up towards the line. This was straightforward. It's on the distance, lads. And Da-la-di-da has won it, and won it easily. From 5, Clona Curly, who stayed on strongly for second, and Druids All Go qualified back in third. And away and racing and flying out the boxes is Fay Point Harvey's in a hurry. Romeo still is trying to look for a way up on the inside and barges his way to the front as Fay Point Harvey comes back for more and hits the front close home. Fay Point Harvey gets on top. Fay Point Harvey from Romeo Still with Brinky's Louis back in third. A 2-3-6 order. And they're off from racing, and 3 Keyfield Goose has come out like a scolded cat and leads into the turn ahead of Make It Paddington, who's going to turn second, just runs off a little bit as they come round the final turn. It's Keyfield Goose still with the lead. Sing Along Molly is edging closer, but she won't get there. Keyfield Goose will make all. He was very close for third. I think Ball Sports Blue has forced a photo with Kilmore Dancer, but a great win for Keely Cunningham and Phil Milner. And off from racing, and 4 gets a flyer. Flashing Fender, early pace from Solomeo up on the inside to grab the lead. Now March on Freddy's got a head of steam up towards the line. 1 all out from 6. Solomeo hangs on from the fast finishing March on Freddy, with Flashing Fender qualifying back in third.
Right, 3 left tonight, but we are delighted to be joined by Matt Dartnell and George Sal of the Horse and Hound 6 Syndicate. 5 of them aren't here. There is only one here from the syndicate, but we'll come with Matt first. Matt Dartnell, Longfellow in the last, Matt. We were saying 5 to 1, a big price tonight, 200 to 1 anti-post. How is the dog?
Yeah, he's fitting well. We prepared him for this. The 500 metres will stretch him, but I'm pleased to see he's fast going tonight. He's earned his place here. You know, he's made a couple of Cat 1 finals. He's won a Cat 1. He got the final of the Scurry as well, so he's got a bit of early pace about him. We thought, look, give the owners a bit of fun and give the kennels a bit of interest, and let's have a go.
George, you confident about tonight's run?
If he can break and lead, I am confident. Yeah, he needs to be in the front, and as Matt said, this is going to test his stamina to the very limits. 500 is, you know, it's not what he wants really. It's a 450 to 480 dog, but the track's flying, so yeah, we'll give it a go.
Competitive enough affair, but if he does lead, he does find a little bit more. Parry bar, strong running, galloping track. You saw that out a while last time there.
Yeah, he did, and we were all sort of on the back end of the winter going then, so now we're on the summer going. You know, that was just suit him. The faster it is, the faster he goes. But like he's 3.5 nearly now. We know everything about the dog, so we've prepared him. We've left him off over the winter. We brought him back. He's had a couple of nice races. He won last time, so he's confident.
And bit of 200 to 1, George. Have we had a little ticket?
A little bit, yeah. It'd be rude not to, wouldn't it?
Absolutely would. And how's the family? How's the old man? How's he keeping Terry?
He's good. I don't think he's ever worked so hard, really. But no, we've only got 16 in the kennel, just ticking along with the small team that we've got. We have a few runners at Oxford and the odd open races here and there. We've got a couple of nice pups coming through, which is always nice. And yeah, that's us.
And they're the ones you've been so close to winning this competition in the past. As we can see his expressions, we can see it. Ballymac, Russo, Farlow, Ironman, etc. What would it mean to win it?
Yeah, I mean everything. I mean, my knees went when Farlow, Ironman nearly won at the third bend. It just got cut off the third bend, but yeah, it's a great competition. And I've watched it from Wimbledon, and I've watched the Charlie Listers and the Savers and everyone win it. And you think, well, it'll be my turn one day. And yeah, you keep the dream alive and keep going. And it's what you're buying dogs for. It's what you're training dogs for. And it's phenomenal. He's done a great job here. The place is so tidy and clean, and you just got to thank the staff and thank everyone behind it, because I was here when it first opened, and it had that glamour about it, and it sort of lost his way. And I feel like being here tonight, he's bringing it back, which is lovely to see. And there's great greyhound faces here. As always, you can always rely on the old greyhound faces to turn up, and they do turn up. And good luck to everyone involved.
Good luck to you guys as well. All the very best with Longfellow. Let's hope you're here next week as well.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Now we've got heat number 19 coming your way, and we've got a shorty in the red jacket, Romeo Empire, who looks like he's crying out for 6 bends for Patrick Jansen's 2 to 1 on. 11 to 4 for Ballymac Lucia for Maxine Locke in 3. 9 to 2 for Indian Bonnie in 4 again for Maxine. 7 to 1 Trap 2 Swords Hero for Patrick Brown, and Richie Taberner in 6 has Holding Harry at 20 to 1, who of course does have the draw. 5 is vacant for our latest race coming up here in round number 1, and this is Ballymac Lucia.
Yeah, this was the Brighton Bell. I think this was the heats of the Brighton. Got to the semi-final stage, but finishes third here, coming out of trap 4. A little bit of crowding going down the far side. Race is won by Runaway Dior. Obviously has run this track well in the past. 2 wins from 7 around this venue. Only just come out of puppy status. Maxine Lock's run a May 23 daughter of Ballymac Cash Out. You see makes a little bit of late headway, goes down a length on this particular occasion. So second favourite behind this very warm order, Romeo Empire. Of course, Joe's been talking about, Joe's Knapp, isn't it, been talking about, Patrick, get this dog in the Ledger, get this dog in the Ledger. The Ledger, of course, as we know, will go to Nottingham this year as a one-off, pending Wolverhampton.
Yep.
Which, should all be good, ready for the Oaks.
Exciting.
In October, whenever that is.
October, some month later on this year. Which calendar do you use?
Different one to everyone else, I think. Yeah.
Trap 1, Romeo Empire. 3rd in the British Breeders' Stakes final for Patrick Janssens and Dave Vermeger. Trap 2, Swords Hero. 4 open wins in Ireland. Could surprise for Patrick Brown. 10 to 1 shot. Trap 3, Ballymac Lucia reached 3 Cat 1 finals as a puppy and reached the 3rd round of the Conan and Kirby Memorial as well. She's a cracker. Trap 4 is Indian Bonnie, Maiden Derby finalist and reached the semis of the Blue Riband here earlier on this year for Maxine Locke. And Trap 6, Holding Harry, 25-1, solid Monmore runner for Richie Taberner, and he is looking for a double. It was a graded win last time, but he did win by 5.5 lengths at Monmore over there, 480. I fancy Ballymac Lucia. I've got a real soft spot for the girl. You know, 3 Cat 1 finals as a puppy. It's pretty tough going, to be fair.
Yeah, it takes some doing, and it's obviously come back, run well in the Brighton Bell, runs this track well, but of course, I tried to have a sixpence point as well the other day and handled that well, so that's good going forward. Romeo Empire was even money with some firms earlier today. In fact, I think most of the firms were nearer evens than odds on, but now you've got to take a short price. That, I guess, makes sense. Not had a lot of racing. Really should just get that early run on the inside and boss it.
Well, let's see if Joe thinks the same.
Thank you, Danny. Yes, nap time. He was even money earlier, people, by the way. When I did nap him, he was even money. He's now 8-15, 4-7, Romeo Empire. Got a great draw here. It looks a bit of a match on paper. So we need Indian Bonnie to come away. She's got blistering early speed, so we need her to come away, or him, sorry, to come away, Indian Bonnie, and lead here. And if he can, and we get a good run here with Romeo Empire, he's going to be as fast as anything in this competition from the halfway mark. So I'm hoping he can just get a good run into the race. Could do with leading Ballymac Lucia. She just lost away slightly since her performance in the Conan and Kirby Memorial. She's just lost away a little bit since. So that's why we're with Romeo Empire. He's got a good draw on the inside. Just hold his pitch and the nap can land. The nap and next best double. We got it in last night. Keyfield Rockies won today. Or Keyfield Goose, sorry, won today. We're trying to get the nap and next best double again. Come on, Romeo Empire.
Let's hope, for Keneally's Crackers' sake, that we do get the nap and next best to go in this evening, because prior to the derby, the Keneally's Crackers, as Joe dubbed them, calamities more like in the shows prior to yesterday. But he's doing pretty well at the moment, because they're flying high in the nap stable, aren't they? So the Keneally's all taking over the Greyhound.
These nap tables are great, aren't they, for the derby? Because we all fancy, don't we, going into them. I'm guessing you're involved. Yeah, you kind of feel, don't you? Here we go. This is my year. You know.
Oh yeah.
And I think I probably change my tactics every year. I've given up the too intricate. I'm not saying now it's.
You're going for Fruity Tuxedo, Tricky Wiggles, all
nice,
the names,
nice
Darryl.
Name, but I'm looking for angles more so than looking for that dog that's got half a spot on another dog to get to the bend. So I'll let you know if I have any success.
I'll see it on the table when you're below me. Right, we are almost set for heat number 19 of the Toaster Greyhound Derby Round 1. Here we go.
Wave the flag and the hare is on the move for heat 19. Stand by. And they're off and racing, and Ballymac Lucia takes a flyer from the boxes, but early dash in the outside from Indian Bonnie, the kennelmate, to hit the front. Tracking this one through then is Romeo Empire, who's turned second, and then Holding Harry is out wide. Then they get back to Swords Hero, and Ballymac Cheer's got Tap for Toes at the back. As they reach the third turn, it's for Indian Bonnie, still with a narrow call, but is now waving Romeo Empire through, coming off the last bend to challenge up towards the line. Romeo Empire gets on top. Ballymac Lucia is flying and forces a photo for second in front of kennelmate Indian Bonnie. It's close for second, but no doubt about the winner, Romeo Empire, late and fast to claim the prize in heat 19.
Well, we know that he's probably going to be stepped up to 6 bends, but he's still rapid over 4, and he's managed to claim Indian Bonnie, who has not quite rocketed out the boxes, but has got pace up into that first bend, Darryl.
Yeah, I mean, he has got speed, hasn't he? Not immediately here today, as you see. Ballymac Lucia, I think, is probably the ground to take away, though. There she's lost, but she's absolutely powered home. That 6:30 run at Monmore's obviously done a plenty of good. And Romeo Empire, you just thought would get an opening and probably go on and pick off Indian Bonnie. That's exactly what's happened. But I've got to say, the eye is drawn to the runner-up, who's absolutely flying home. And if she has been a bit out of sorts, she's back and ready for the derby.
Certainly seems to be the case with Ballymac Lucia. Just looking to see what happens out the boxes, and two's moved off ever so slightly. 6 Holding Harry, just holding a good line out deep on the track. But generally speaking, they've all been pretty good up to the first bend in their respective racing lines, albeit just at that point Ballymac Lucia does get squeezed out ever so slightly by Indian Bonnie, who, well, he flashes up so quickly to the opening corner, but once Romeo Empire's turned handy enough, 2-3 lengths behind, it was game over.
Yeah, look, given this dog, as Dave Foger was saying, you know, I think they stepped one of the litter mates up to 6 bends. They didn't want to blunt the speed of Romeo Empire by doing that at this stage, but that's obviously the long-term scenario, and he's got the job done. He's landed the odds. But yeah, if you've backed Ballymac Lucia, you'll be delighted with that run going forward, because she's laid down a marker for next time.
29.04 we're hearing for Romeo Empire as well, and to come from behind, that's a rapid time, I think, Darryl.
Yeah, what have we had? 4 sub-29 second runs. That will be the 5th quickest of the night, just ahead of Fay Point Susie. But it's a decent effort, and I suppose this is a greyhound that's not necessarily going to clock the times. It's all about the strength and the stamina, isn't it, really? And bear in mind, he was off for a month and a bit, so second run back, you know, he's got the authority to move that forward again.
2 from 2. He beat Keelog's runner in his trial stakes, and now he has beaten Ballymac Lucia into second place, and Indian Bonnie, the long-time leader, has just faded, well, not faded actually, he's just been collared by 2 stronger dogs in the closing stages. But Ballymac Lucia, I really do like this girl. I think she's an absolute cracker, and Maxine Locke will be thrilled anyway. Drawn 2 in the same heat, and they've both got through to the second round, so you can't say fairer than that.
Yeah, look, we said, didn't we, earlier, all of Maxine's dogs got through last night. She's got such a strong team, 3 more to come tomorrow. Nobody sent more dogs to the Derby than Maxine, 11, and Pat Janssens and Graham Holland with 9. They're the second most represented, and they're all doing rather well.
Yes, they are. I was just looking to see who else. Ballymac Kobe's not managed to get through today for Maxine. So yeah,
there have been 1 or 2 reverses today, haven't there?
Yeah, I was just looking through. Droopy's Pivotal, of course. We just hope that he's okay. Not heard anything or any updates on Droopy's Pivotal yet, but hopefully we'll get one of those later on in the show. But getting lots of love there in our latest heat. Romeo Empire has managed to win, and he's tried to get up the like an agility course there, Joe, trying to get up on the podium.
Danny, you wouldn't know he's had a race, honestly. He's just been wagging his tail. His ears are going. He's seen Dave, obviously, the breeder and the owner, and you wouldn't know he's had a race. It's a brilliant performance for him. I must say, Ballymac Lucia and Indian Bonnie have ran some huge races there in defeat. We're just getting the pictures out of the way with Jim and Steve, and we're going to come and speak to Dave and Rhea in a second. Nicola and my old man is still there. These two get on like a house on fire, Dave and my dad, so we'll have a chat with both of them. As you can see, they're having a bit of a crack on the podium here, and we'll come to Rhea first. Right, you two stay where you are. We're going to come to the most important woman who is here at the minute in Rhea. Rhea, must be delighted with that.
Yeah, of course. He's put in a massive performance, so he had to do it the hard way. So he's proved that he's up for the battle, and really pleased with him. Yeah,
he's turned in a great position, hasn't he? To be fair to Indian Bonnie and Ballymac Lucia, they've kept him honest, very honest.
But yeah, they have. I mean, both are strong running dogs, so it's proved how strong he is as well.
Pleased with how it's gone so far. You've got a lot to come still. You've got a big team tomorrow. You've also got Slick Sentinel and Romeo Command to come. Confident?
I mean, yeah, you have to be confident. They're consistent dogs. They run their hearts out for us all the time. So, yeah, it's been great so far, and hopefully it continues.
Just keep getting this boy through for me, please. Just keep getting him through.
Anti-pose, have you?
66 to 1. That'll do. Just keep getting him through. Well done, Rhea. Get him off. Well done. Right, here they come. Well, just listen to these two now. Look, they're just talking rubbish and waffle, so we'll just keep them talking here. These two guys. Dave, pleased with that?
Yeah, very pleased with him. He's a little bit. He's not been over raced recently. Purposely, he'll improve throughout the competition. Obviously, rails helped him, and he's got up the inside, and he's come home really well.
Yeah, we watched the head on there, and he kept straight to the bend, so perfect draw for him.
I think he's just an experienced dog. He's a young dog and he wasn't really sure where he wanted to go, but I think he's proved tonight that he definitely wants a rails, or he is a railer anyway. Like I say, he's come home strong, and I think he's only had 8-10 races, something like that, so he can only improve.
You haven't heard from your friend yet, Mick Keneally. My dad, general manager.
Oh, you mean the
general manager and toaster Mick Keneally. Now these two get like a house on fire. Dad, you were here last time. Dave was here when he won the Derby with Romeo Magico. Can he do it again?
I've just said that to him. I've just said to him, I said, imagine if you'd done it again. You're only ever one. Your first one you ever won, and we do it again.
Yeah.
And there was a story of a wild animal, the badger, that he just reminded me of, that he forgot about in the interview. And he just told me his wife, she's in another wild animal tonight.
Across us tonight.
So it was a badger 3 years ago, it's a hare tonight, so who knows?
Yeah, it must be. It must be like the Three Stooges here, isn't it? But which one are you? The piggy in the middle?
I'm the biggest stooge.
Dave, well done.
Thank you.
See you next week.
I'll see you next week. Cheers. Oh, we got Command to come yet?
Oh, you got Command. I'm going to see you in about 20 minutes then, yeah?
Yeah. Well, it'd be nice to think so. Yeah.
Cheers.
Oh, they're having a wonderful time. Romeo Empire 29-0 for 2-1 on favourite, has beaten Ballymac Lucia, cracking bitch in second, 100-30. And for Indian Bonnie, the Trailblazer at 4-1, qualified in third place.
Clever. Bet Good Win. Proud sponsors of Gone to the Dogs. Bet Good Win. Bet Good Win. Bet Good Win.
This is Wimbledon. This is the William Hill Greyhound Derby. This is the greatest race on the planet, and there they go! One side is Jack out fast with Droopy Jet. Ballymac Vic on the outside, but he's hurtling into the bend. It's going to be Vic who comes out on top. But Siders Jack is fighting back. Here comes Green Critic on the outside. Siders Jack half length up. Ballymac Vic has one more go at the third bend. Screen Critic back in third. They come round the final bend. Siders Jack still leading here. Unbelievable. The young dog. Siders Jack for Charlie Lister. Magnificent 7. Siders Jack wins a 7th Greyhound Derby for Charlie Lister, beating Airly Impact. Breathtaking. Marvellous scenes. The WilliamHill.com Greyhound Derby Final 2012. £125,000 at stake. And there they go, racing up toward the first bend. It's a good start from 4 Taylor Sky, who's going to try and lead round the bend here. And does so success. Oh, there's trouble. Blonde Snapper on the outside now goes on. With Philo Iman in second as they head down the far side. Blonde Snapper taken on by Philo Iman. Up, get back to Kulavani Bird. It's still Blonde Snapper with a lead of half a length over Philo Iman. They come up the final bend. It's Blonde Snapper. Can he hold on? The answer is yes. Blonde Snapper wins the WilliamHill.com Greyhound Derby for 2012 from Philo Iman in second. Mark Correll and family in a team hug.
Well, I'm reliving those as if I've seen them, you know, or I have seen them a few times, obviously, but I started at William Hill in 2012.
Yeah.
And I did not know one end of a greyhound from another, or started in broadcast at least in the January of that year. And now, obviously, I love the game. I mean, once it sucks you in, Daryl, you cannot get out.
I just love the last words there, the clip ends with go on the snapper. And that was the year, of course, that Mark Wallace told everybody, even those who weren't interested, that Blonde Snapper was a great bet for the Derby, 66-1 anti-post.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, a lot of us had a little interest, including myself, because, you know, Mark's a shrewd judge. But it was about 2.5 months after the Derby finished that I went to an account that I don't use very often, opened it up and went, how much? And I'd forgotten I had a sneaky tenner, I think it was, each way or something.
Oh, wow.
On a, you know, very seldom used account. Someone's hacked my account. They put all this money in. It's ridiculous.
They're actually winning. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't happened since, but it was a nice feeling 13 years ago.
Gosh, I know, 13 years ago I've been in the greyhound game, which absolutely baffles me, to be quite frank, because I didn't know anything about greyhound racing. My grandma, I said it to her when I was learning about greyhound racing, she went, oh, yeah, I used to go to Bellevue all the time. What? Really?
It's in the blood then, it's in the genes.
Oh, apparently so, but she never took me. So she never told me about it, didn't have a clue. I used to think horse racing was once a year on the Nationals, so, you know.
Horse racing was once a year?
Yeah.
I love it.
So, I mean,
that's the boat race, Danny, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I was thick when it came to racing, to be quite frank, and none of my family are interested at all. They watch me because... Well, they have to, because they're my family.
Because all the TVs are locked into whatever you're on.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm like, we need the viewers, so. But no, they're, you know, my other half's now very interested in greyhound racing because I've made him come to the track a couple of times, and now he's like, am I coming to the Derby final? Yes. Can I come to the semis? Yes. maybe the quarters as well. Yeah, you can come to whatever you want. So it's once it sucks you in and once you've been to the track, I think that's the key. I think you can watch it on TV and it's great, and that's how I learned how to love it. But once you've been to the track, just the once, I think then it just gets you.
You've just reminded me of like my kids growing up now. I'm not a father who would have forced my children to take an interest in what I adore.
Yeah.
But I can always just come into my mind when the kids were very young. We used to go to Hove quite a lot, and one of my sons, let's just say he's not too far away from this studio this evening, used to spend the whole evening picking up discarded tote tickets in the belief that someone might have dropped a winning ticket. 352, rubbish, next one. Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Well, it kept him out of trouble for a while, I guess. You just like crack on, so it's fine.
Yeah.
No one throws a winner away, but you're all right.
There was a chance.
And to be fair, it's in his blood now, isn't it? Because he's so keen and so interested in greyhound racing. He's doing all the social media. It's Ashley Williams. He's doing all the social media, or Flash Tips, I think he is, on X, isn't he? So
yeah,
he absolutely loves it. You know, he lives the game.
Because when he worked at the Carhill Kennels, he just did every job so quickly. They just called him Flash, you know.
Brilliant.
Get it done yesterday, you know, move on to the next thing.
Hey, well,
I don't know where he gets that from.
Not a clue.
I just never finish a job.
I'm pretty much the same. Not the detail. I'm very good at starting things and finishing them. No, not quite so much. Right, we've got the 9:15, which is the penultimate heat of night 2 of round 1. We've got Trap 1, Scooby the Boss, 13-8. 2 Quill Quids, 33-1. 3 Romeo Command. Heart overhead for this one, 15-8. Liverpool sang at 20-1 in 4. Vacant, 5 and 6. Slick Sentinel, Star Sports, Biggest Loser, 13-8 on the outside, and has the draw this evening. I mean, Romeo Command, Darryl. He's just unbelievable, but we're going to watch Slick Sentinel.
Yeah, this is Slick Sentinel. We'll talk about Romeo Command in a moment. This is a 3-9-5 split. Another one of those will put him sort of, you know, level par with the two others in fastest splits. But, yeah, incredible run. We heard from Keith Alsop, didn't we? And, of course, from Patrick earlier on. And that came on the back of a little bit of a layoff. But it was a perfect race to get himself prepped for this contest. You know, he's got good form, second in the Eclipse, wasn't he, and round 1 in the Blue Ribbon. I think he was runner-up there as well, but he missed a bit of time after that, so he comes here fresh and raring to go.
Does indeed. Joe, what's it looking like, this betting heat?
Bit of a head scratcher, Danny, I must say. 7-4 Scooby the Boss with Star Sports, 66-1 Quill Quid, 7-4 Romeo Command, 16-1 the Persang. Now this dog can lead, and then we'll see how good he is. And Slick Sentinel, 6-4 in the ring as well. Here we've also got betting without down here as well, where Slick Sentinel, we're betting without. Scooby the Boss, 1-2. Le Persang, he's a 10-1. Romeo Command, 5-4. Quill Kids, 14-1. Khan, bit of a head scratcher.
It is. I wanted to lay. Well, the bottom is our biggest anti-post loser. We mentioned the other night. It's worth about 6 figures at the minute and growing. But I wanted to keep through on side with the old timer. He's just been a great dog, hasn't he? Rolled back the years. The first bet we laid was 3, so that went out the window. We're trying to get 1 in. 1's the open favourite. It's drifted a bit, so we're betting without 6 to try and lay 1 behind as well. They're friendless at the minute. Whatever we want to lay, they don't want to bet. But we're trying to let them form the markets and hope for a result. But I just love the 3. He's been a great dog, great servant, and yeah, interesting race. But you're looking for somewhere, and you're thinking 2 and 4 are probably a little bit outclassed. But yeah, hopefully if I can push 1 here, maybe go 4 to 6 without, they might come running down the steps.
Just a quick one as well. Last few races done a bit of damage.
Yeah, they did. We thought we could try and get a result there, but then it was just absolutely relentless. They all wanted to be on the top in the last, and it went off nearly 2s on in the end. We got 1 race after this to finish, and it's quite a wide open bet in the heat. I actually think Longfellow's overpriced in there. Could get off the front with early pace, but yeah, let's try and push the 1 in Scooby the Boss without and try and get them to use some of their hard-earned.
There you go, guys. We heard it from Khan. Good luck, mate.
Well, they have been on parade, so I'll just give you a little bit of a blurb for each one. Scooby the Boss in Trap 1, Kent Plate finalist, and lost the UK maiden tag here at the track. Trap 2, Quill Quids, burst onto the graded scene at Monmore quickly, switched to open class for Esther Driver. Trap 3, Romeo Command, was a runner-up, of course, 2 years ago, and he's won a ridiculous amount of races, 41 from 65 in 12 seconds. You don't get many dogs that have that record. Lipur Sang, I interviewed Paul Young on the podcast, and he said he likes this dog. June 23, he's a nice dog to follow. And trap 6, Slick Sentinel, loads of speed early and won the Genco Juvenile Classic on Derby final night last year. So Napur Sang may be one for the future, but he could sneak through. Got to be with Mahar and Romeo Command. I mean, this lad, what a servant he's been.
Yeah, I mean, I'd want to be with him as well. Incredible record. I think it's 22 from 32 it opens around here, which is mind-boggling. Scooby the Boss was really heavy in the market earlier. That was the one they were backing, you know, flying in for this dog, Tea Time. Ashley's Nap, by the way, but not so sweet now. Out to 6-4, hanging on to favourites. And we've had a lot of races where they've gone very tight into the off. And, you know, is the winner going to be the favourite or the second favourite? You know, there've been a few second favourites or joint favourites. I think Dynamic Forces race. Yeah, Paul Young. I was with Paul Young earlier on. We had a lovely kebab. I don't know if you had a lovely kebab earlier.
I did, yeah. It was
nice winner last night, of course, in TJ's Chums. But just as importantly, Underground Fizz, our new dog at Romford, 23.80 odd tonight. So happy.
Very happy. Right, let's see what happens with PL.
The flag and the hare is now on the move. Hare approaches. The lid's rising away and racing, and Slick Sentinel has come out like a bullet from a gun and quickly asserts into the turn and goes on for Patrick Janssens now. Turning second is Lapur Sang, hasn't quite led, and this allows Scooby the Boss now to get and work in the second spot and chases out after Slick Sentinel into the third turn. Slick Sentinel with a length and a half lead. Scooby the Boss trying really hard to make a challenge, just runs up the backside of the 6 Slick Sentinel with late lunge up towards the line. Slick Sentinel out from Scooby the Boss. Gets there. It was tight for the qualifying spot between Romeo Command and Quill Quids, who picked up nicely close home. We'll just get that confirmed for you. But it was a cracking race, and Slick Sentinel from the boxes hit the front, and that was that.
That was indeed that. Slick Sentinel has lots of speed early, that's what I put. He's won here before, won the Juvenile Classic sponsored by Genco last year on the Derby final card, and he has won well. I mean, he's exited the boxes like a good thing. Romeo Command, I don't know if he was slightly flat-footed up into the first turn here, but Slick Sentinel popped out, made all, didn't see another rival.
And needed to have that lead in the end because it's got really close, hasn't it? I mean, Scooby the Boss has got motoring, 29.01 we're hearing, so it's another sharp time, and Romeo Command just beginning to try and get into the race, and it looked like he was holding on Slick Sentinel. I mean, he has held on, but just threatening late on Scooby the Boss in those final dying moments. Yeah. Sigh of relief, I think, for the punters, and groans from, no doubt, the bookmakers.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, trap 1, Scooby the Boss for second, 3, Romeo Command in third, so he has got through. Quill Quids has run an absolute burster to go so close to these three.
Yeah, I mean, Esther had the two in the same heat earlier on, didn't she, with no better feeling, just beating what we're going to call him, Umpy, to qualify. But, yeah, Quids has done well.
But the big three are through here. Slick Sentinel has won and won well, 29.01. Scooby the Boss in second place, and Romeo Command. I don't know, for me, Dal, I don't know if it was a little bit workmanlike tonight for Romeo Command, but I think he can certainly come on for the run.
Yeah, I suppose he's been off for a while. I mean, in fairness, so is Slick Sentinel. Maybe Romeo Command is better when he's able to sit close to the speed, I would suggest. But listen, the great thing is that at the age of, what is he now, 4 years and almost 6 months, or nearly 6 months, he is into the next round of the Derby.
Unreal, isn't it, really? Unreal. I think he was, I was speaking to Connections last year on the podcast, I think, when he won the British Bred final, was it? But yeah, they said he was better than ever. You know, he's hit 4 and he's better than ever. So that's why they're keeping him in training, and that's why he is through to the second round. But Slick Sentinel, superb effort, and there'll be quite a few people that are pretty happy with that, Joe.
There certainly will be, Danny, and we've got the delighted owner here, Keith Allsop, Cheryl, with the dog. Patrick's coming in now, and all the family and friends as well, and a great performance from Slick Sentinel to come out and do what he's done there. Especially when Scooby the Boss has turned where he has, you know, and I must say, Patrick as well trains Romeo Command. He's run a huge race in defeat. We've got the big three through in the race there. Beautiful looking boy, Slick Sentinel, I must say. He's taking this all in on the podium now. We're going to come to Patrick and Keith now. We'll come to Patrick first. Keith, we'll come to you in a minute, so you stay where you are. But Patrick, you've just told me he's getting fitter and fitter. That's some run from him.
Yeah, it is. You know what I mean? This dog, this is his second race since January. He won them both. You can see he's not fully fit yet, but once one turned second behind us, I thought we could be in trouble, but he held them off and he done well. And I must say, what a run Romeo Command run in defeat. Honestly, he's amazing, the dog, for 4.5-year-old. But now all the credit to this dog, and he's a real nice dog, this one, and he can only go one way, that's forward.
Good night so far. Been a really good night for you.
Yeah, we had 5 runners, 4 qualifiers. The bitch was a bit unlucky, but no, they all done very well. So Romeo Steele, you can see that the raw speed he's got, but it's just the last sort of 50 metres that's game over for. But no, they're all doing their job.
And Romeo Empire, impressive. He's just going to keep getting. Hopefully that trap 1 draw be so key to him, wouldn't it?
It is. And the thing as well is he didn't trial last week. He's 2 weeks without a run. You can see he got to the front, but he never really pulled away. But he'll come on as well. And he's a fun. The thing with him is his track craft is getting better and better. In the beginning, he was sort of a bit clumsy, and he's getting better and better. And yeah, he's fantastic.
Patrick, well done. We're going to squeeze through now and speak to Keith quickly, the owner. So just come out of the way quickly, guys. Thank you very much, Keith. A lot of pressure on this lad because obviously you've said that you've backed him at big prices for decent money, but when he keeps trapping like that, keeps getting them draws and getting stronger, he can go a long way, can't he?
Well, if he keeps trapping like that, he's going to take a lot of stopping. Yeah, we know he weakened a bit, but we know he ain't nowhere near fit yet. So he's doing the right things. We can't ask no more of him tonight. Really happy. Looking forward to the next round. Nice draw would be nice.
And Juvenile Classic winner here, of course, last year. He loves this place, doesn't he?
It seems to.
It was his schooling ground, really, wasn't it? You put him in the derby last year as a baby, just to give him a little bit of experience. He's just gone from strength to strength, though, hasn't he?
He has everything. He improved. I mean, with every competition he's gone in, he's got to every final. Can't ask no more of the dog. He's a fantastic dog to own. And like I say, fair play to Patrick and the kennel. Bringing the dog through just right. He ain't 100% fit. You don't want that for a first round of the derby. We'd have took 3rd place, like I said. I'll take 3rd place every week. Let's just get there and see what we can do. But it's just the look of the draw. What will be, will be. You just got to enjoy it and enjoy this place. It's brilliant.
Certainly is, Keith. Good luck on Sunday in the draw. We'll see you here next week.
Thank you very much, Joe.
So the result of Heat 20, Slick Sentinel 11-8 favourite in a time of 29.01. Scooby the Boss qualifies in second at 13-8, and joining them in the second round, Chat 3, the old boy, Romeo Command at 11-4.
Bet clever. Bet Goodwin. Proud sponsors of Gone to the Dogs.
Well, we're going to have a look at this evening's winners and times included. So you can see 3 favourites. We had loads of favourites winning yesterday, so the bookies have clawed a couple of quid back, I think, tonight. But Da-La-Dee-Da, the story of the evening, 28.50, 6 points off. 6 points, 6 spots off the clock. And yeah, we've had a few really good performances, flashes out the boxes, but quite a few have dipped under that 29-second barrier, which is always a good marker of
it's a good benchmark, isn't it? And then, of course, you look at that, and then your eyes are drawn to the 4th one down. 28.50. Crazy.
Absolutely crackers. You know what? I'd love to see it again, I think, Daryl. So why
don't we do...
It
takes 28.50 seconds.
It does. So here we go. Da-La-Dee-Da in trap number...
Oh, no.
1, yeah. I was like, for some reason, I was expecting him to pace up into the first bend, and this is...
It's probably not the race.
Not the race. This is Faye Point Susie's race.
Oh, OK, sorry, right.
So this is Faye Point Susie's race, I believe, because she...
Although she
maybe
left,
it's
didn't
not.
She? I'm not sure it's Faye Point Susie's race either.
No, I don't know whose race it is. It's certainly Trap 3 has won. So,
is that Keyfield Goose's race? Anyway, not
that was Keyfield Goose. Yeah. Sing Along Molly was second. So it was a good race, to be fair. Sing Along Molly. I think a few people at the Star Sports preview on Tuesday were saying Sing Along Molly. Obviously, she's not had a look at the track prior to this evening, but also she was one for Top Bitch that people were saying might have been overpriced. And you can see why, with that run that she's put in tonight, the fact that she stays on so strongly in the closing stages, I think she could go deep.
Yeah, absolutely. But big eye catcher for me for next week and probably everyone else. This is Da-La-Dee-Da, because to do that time you've got to actually bomb out the boxes.
Yeah. You know, when your mind just goes, I don't know what I'm watching, but no, this is unbelievable. I mean, the cameraman can almost just about keep pace with Da-La-Dee-Da here and try and keep, obviously, everybody else in the field as well. And he's just gone further and further clear and absolutely bolted in. I mean, 6 spots off the clock is some going. people were saying he's not quite the dog that he was last year, not sure that he's going to really, you know, put in the same performance as last year. He's put the doubters to bed tonight.
I'm pretty sure there was 33s available going into tonight.
Yeah.
Not every firm has gone up, but those that I've seen, I think 14 to 1 is about as good as you'll get at the moment, unless somebody else wants to go slightly bigger. But it's going to be that kind of mark now, isn't it? So, yeah, anyone who locks in... I think we did have this discussion briefly about how big he was for a defending champion. I wasn't wise enough to listen to what we had to say. But if you did, and you got 33 to 1, you're now holding a nice ticket.
Yeah, you are. I mean, he has really stamped his authority on this competition. I don't know if anybody's going to go quicker than him tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, some could. There are some very good greyhounds coming up tomorrow. But are they going to go quite as quick? I'm not sure. So we'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow night, of course, from 6:15. My highlight of the night, and one of the highlights for the bitches, actually, was Fay Point Susie. I thought this was an absolute belter of a run. She was in box number 2, and she won well in 29.05. She didn't quite beat Tricky Wiggles out the boxes, but she's managed to just nick through on the inside, and she runs this track so well. And for a bitch to come to the Derby for the 3rd year in a row, she's reached the 2nd round, she's reached the 3rd round, she's reached the 2nd round again. You know, she knows how to run this track, and I actually really hope she just goes quite deep in the competition this time. She's really run her heart out this bitch.
Yeah, I think it was either Graham or Rachel, I can't remember which, said, you know, basically, you know, the others are coming and she's on the van, you know. It's like, you're not leaving me at home, and rightly so, because... Again, it's another example of how these greyhounds can come back year in, year out. Not year in, year out, because you can only have a career for so long. But those with previous form here who've done well. I mean, the La-di-Da, a good example, won the first 2 rounds last year.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes a good angle to try and find winners. Again, I note these things and don't always do anything with them. But, yeah, brilliant to see her through and part of this incredible Graham Holland team. So, Graham, what was it, 5 winners, wasn't it, so far, I think?
Yeah, 3 from last night, 2 from
2 tonight, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Patrick has had 3 now, hasn't he? Those last 2 winners with his winner, Droopy's Trade from last night. So they're leading the way numerically.
They are doing well. Tell you who we're going to have a look at as well. Solo Mio beating March on Freddie, who did a lot of running late, but he was just a bit flat-footed out the boxes, and he can do that, and he has shown that in the past. But I was interested in this Solo Mio. There's quite a few people buzzing about him on Tuesday, and he's done the business.
Yeah, look, we know the Kirby form is always going to work out well. I think in Derby's past that's proved to be the case because it's such a valuable race and everybody wants to be a part of it. But March on Freddie, I suppose, you know, there was a moment when you're thinking, oh my goodness, you know, is he in trouble? Well, no, of course he isn't, but he needed to just sort of mind his P's and Q's, keep his mind on the job.
Yeah.
And he's safely through. He's run a very good race in defeat. No one will be too concerned about the fact that he has been beaten. He will come on for that. But so will Solo Mio as well, who's come here, you know, with, I think, just a 1 sprint trial. So.
Yeah, because I think he might have changed his style of running as well for me, March on Freddie, because in the Puppy Classic it was like boom, away and gone, boom, away and gone. You go to the Irish Derby, he did that in the first round, and then he was more coming from behind, he was staying on well, he was always kind of up there, but then he was really motoring in the closing stages. So he just needs to get that trapping back for me to really, really fly in this competition, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, sometimes greyhounds, I suppose, they get educated, don't they? And suddenly, I mean, gosh, if you could talk to a greyhound, we tried to talk to Eric earlier, you know, getting little from him.
I even offered him my drink,
exactly.
And he said yes. He took
but, you know, you'd love to ask the question, wouldn't you? You know, as you gain experience, you know, why are you running slightly differently? But look, that's a trait, I suppose, that some of them develop. And I don't know, the front runners pingers are great, but of course if you miss it and your chance is gone.
Yeah.
I mean, we all love them though, don't we? We love the dog that's going to bang, bang, bang get out every time. But there's something about a dog who can come from off the pace, gives you that chance.
There is, yeah. I mean, you know, you look at the staying races, you look at the staying superstars, Space Jet, for example. She was great, you know, dropping herself off the back of the telly and then coming and finding every line possible, regardless of what trip it was. You know, she was absolutely remarkable.
And still catching people out who didn't know the way she ran races. Where's she come from? No, she does it every week. That's her style.
Yeah,
but,
it's mad. And then you look maybe at Sing Along Molly. She's going to be one of those that's going to come from behind and maybe surprise a few people. So, Yeah, I do quite like the ones you have to look for in the field and they're not just up there and ready to go. I mean, Delardi something special tonight, but there are a couple, I think, that are lurking in the pack that could be
But what
very,
I'm
very
really liking
interesting.
about this derby so far, Danny, is it's not too predictable in terms of... Look, last year was great if you like backing front runners, particularly drawn in trap 3.
Yeah.
And we all latched onto it and we took advantage where we could. But the fact is that we're getting winners from... Loads of winners from 6. I think, what is it? I've wrote it down. 6 winners from 6, 5 winners from 1. But we're getting dogs on the front, we're getting dogs coming from off the speed, we're getting lots of different styles, and very fair track, faster tonight than last night, giving us some good times. All you can ask for a derby track when it's prepared is that every dog's got a fair chance.
Yeah.
A fair chance.
Absolutely. Now we've got trap 1 here. It's One Slick Jamie, who is in the red jacket, and once my notes come up, is a solid Irish grade A. He's 1 from 1 here in the UK, won by half a length at Hove, 11-4. Trap 2, Longfellow, won the Cowley Puppy Collar, and he's reached 2 Category 1 finals since then. 14 from 41 for Matt Dartnell. Hollyhill Pad reached the Maiden Derby semi-final for Tom Halebron, the Link Kennels Syndicate. He's 1 from 3 so far, only a youngster, just out of puppyhood, April 23. Trap 4 is Slingshot Sam, who was the Northern Flat second behind Wiki Ned last year. Absolutely loves Newcastle for Brian Fairbairn and Mr Armstrong. And trap number 6, there he is, Burrows Eclipse. Hunt Cup finalist, will definitely be staying on strongly. Pretty much like what we've just been talking about, those dogs that come from slightly off the pace. But this, I think, is probably the most wide open heat of the night. I mean, there's a fraction of a point splitting for us and Darrell. Unbelievable.
It's almost as if the bookmakers said, please can you put the most competitive heat of the night last to give us a chance. I mean, it's been mixed fortunes, hasn't it, here? What was correct and was highlighted, I think, with Joe talking to Matt earlier on, was that Longfellow, should never have been a 5-1 chance. I like Burrows Eclipse, who's a strong dog, ran well in the Hunt Cup at Oxford last time. Capable of coming away here on his day, and obviously the 6s are going well, generally speaking, but now we've got to move. Look at this. Now we've got 2-1, One Slick Jamie. So 1 run, 1 win for Paul Marchant. That was a hope. By the way, Paul Marchant, 1 runner tonight in this heat. I told you this earlier.
Yeah.
And his next runner is in heat 22, which is the first heat tomorrow.
That is, well, lucky but unlucky all at the same time, I guess, because at least you've got 2 in the derby. Joe, who do you like in this one?
Wide open, I must say. It's some way to finish tonight. You could make a case for all 5 of these. Nothing in trap 5, of course, so you can make a case for all 5 of these. Slingshot Sam, I couldn't put anyone off back in Slingshot Sam. He's a really, really nice Newcastle type for Brian Fairbairn. But I'm going to be with 3 Hollyhill Pad. I think the race can suit. I'd love to see Longfellow pop out and make call. But Hollyhill Pad, we've seen him in the Maiden Derby. He's a good winner, beating Tomahawk in 29-17 back on the 6th of April. Hasn't quite worked out for him since, but I'm going to be with 3 in what is a very, very competitive final race of the night.
Hollyhill Pad as well, to be fair, for Tom Halebron. We were talking to him earlier on this week, and I think he's pretty keen. But we're going to have a look at Longfellow in action from Oxford. He beat Coppice at Tenzin by a length back on the 26th of April. He was in box 2 on this occasion. It was a good run.
It was a good run. Obviously, Oxford is his local track, but he got to the Scurry final, so he's got plenty of early speed, and he is Matt's only runner in the derby. I know Matt was saying earlier on he doesn't have a huge string of greyhounds these days as it was, back in the day. But you heard him talking about the conversation with Philo Ironman and the Derby final, and when you've been that close, you just want to keep trying. You've got to have a runner, and he's got plenty of ability, hasn't he, Longfellow? So good luck to Matt and the Horse and Hound 6 Syndicate. Let's hope they get through a good few rounds.
Who are you with?
I'm with 6 Burrows Eclipse on the outside, who's got plenty of stamina, but capable of getting a decent start round here. Nice make-up, probably overpriced now at 9-2.
Yeah, 9-2. So the market's just firming up here as we get closer and closer to the off. 2-1 now for One Slick Jamie, 3-1 with Longfellow, 7-2 Hollyhill Pad, 4-1 for Burrows Eclipse, and Slingshot Sam is at 5. Strap 5 is vacant. Do fancy Hollyhill Pad here. I think he's going to go very well indeed for Tom Halebron. April 23, son of Burgess Bucks, Maiden Derby semi-finalist, and That was just a little bit unlucky with a crowd in that race. They are just about set. Here's Paul Lawrence for the final heat on night 2.
Here we go then. Here is on the move for the 13th and final time. Stand by. And away and racing up on the outside. A good break from Burrows Eclipse, but early zip from Slingshot Sam into the turn. Slingshot Sam goes round in front and leads by 2 lengths from Burrows Eclipse, who's turned handy. Then in behind these comes One Slick Jamie. Longfellow is next, and at the back of the pack we've got Holly Hill Pad with Work On as they come round the last 2 curves. Slingshot Sam has a length lead. Here comes Burrows Eclipse, late and fast. It's all out now. Slingshot Sam with Burrows Eclipse joining on the line. That is a photo. That is tight, really close. One Slick Jamie was back in third. We're going to leave that to the judge.
I love it when he does that. It's funny. 6, I think, has just got up, though.
Oh,
no. Sorry, I'm wrong. I was thinking 4 Slingshot Sam, same as you. I was just pulling your leg there, Darryl. Now, 4 and 6 going to the line. 6, we thought, had sat in a handy enough position and was going to go by.
At the wrong time, doesn't it, the 6? Does it? Oh, no. Or... Yes, I don't know.
We're both commentators.
If there's a photo, you've got hope.
The thing is, we both kind of... You always go, yeah, 4's got it, but you always go with your first impression as a commentator, and 9 times out of 10, Darryl, you know it's going to be right. But Slingshot Sam, I mean, he's popped out of the boxes, hasn't he?
Well, actually broke really well, One Stick Jamie, but heading over to the middle takes everybody across as well.
It's kind of probably not helped Longfellow and Holly Hill Pad. 29.05 the time we're hearing for Slingshot Sam. Good time, popped out the boxes. Yeah, 1 and 2 not done. Well, sorry, 1's not done 2 and 3 any favours there. But 4, 6, 1 will be the result. And unfortunate for Longfellow and Holly Hill Pad, they are not making the journey next week back to Toaster. But Slingshot Sam, Northern Flat second. We know he's speedy. He loves Newcastle, and apparently he's done all right at Toaster.
He's done very well, hasn't he, here for Brian? So well done to him. And, yeah, a little bit of agony for those on Burrows Eclipse. I think the 4's almost in the closing stages just sort of moved off a little bit. And, you know, if it was a horse race with a jockey on, you'd say that the winner was intimidating.
Stewards.
Yeah, but wasn't applying Greyhound racing. Clever tactics from Slingshot Sam. But Burrows Eclipse, you know, safely through for Jason Heath, as is One Stick Jamie with Paul Marchant in third.
Superb effort for Slingshot Sam. So wide open heat, and yeah, well, very, very tight on the line as well. They are just coming off the track here, and they'll be heading towards the winner's podium. That's Billy Brennan. I think he's been doing the interviews for Star Sports, as Emily Wallace has got her news day at university. So we wish her the best of luck, because she's coming to the end of her 3rd year. So working very, very hard and still managing to work in the kennel. She said this week has been absolutely manic, because she's been up and down to uni. She's been working at the kennel. She's been here yesterday. She's here tomorrow. So she's been up and down, but wish her the best of luck in the final stages of her 3rd year at uni. And then she'll be a fully fledged broadcast journalist as they just get Slingshot Sam onto the podium. Jim Tate will be there with his camera snapping away, and we'll get some reaction shortly with Josephine down at the podium. And we can go there now. Joe, cracking run.
Thank you, Danny. A great way to finish tonight. A brilliant performance from Slingshot Sam for Brian Fairbairn. We mentioned him just before, saying this dog, his Newcastle form is as good as it comes. So no surprise to see him hold on in the end. And he did have to work hard to hold on there in the end from trap 6. That was Burrows Eclipse, of course. But this was a brilliant race. Just stay there for me, guys. We'll just quickly come and join us. So, who have we got? Who have we got with us?
I'm George. I'm the trainer.
Congratulations, great run.
Thank you very much. Brilliant.
Bit of a roar went up. Got a few quid on.
Oh, aye, definitely.
And I'll say to the guys in this, his Newcastle form is as solid as it comes. It really is, isn't it?
He's a good dog, great dog. Yes, you know.
Long journey worthwhile.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We gave him a chance. He had to trap tonight to win that race, and he did. You know, it's exactly what he done. And we had him in good order, you know. So we're delighted. We're absolutely delighted. And delighted for the owner, Craig Armstrong.
Yeah, Craig. So talk to us about Craig. Obviously, he's not here tonight, but he'll be thrilled, won't he?
A fantastic guy. Puts his money where his mouth is, and all he's looking for is to win that Category 1 race, and
wouldn't be a bad way to start, would it?
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah. We all want to win a Category 1, and you know, Big Sam, he's been a great dog for us, and he's his first buy. You know, I got him into greyhound racing, and he absolutely loves the dog.
Beauty as well, isn't he?
Yes, he's a cracking dog.
Guys, well done. A safe journey home. We'll see you next week.
See you tomorrow night.
I'm not here tomorrow, so you won't see me here. You might see his microphone again, but I won't be here. So safe journey home tonight, guys. Well done.
Super. Thank you.
Tell you what, he is Big Sam as well. Over 40 kilos. Unbelievable. Now, Slingshot Sam, 9-2. Burrows Eclipse through at 3-1. And One Slick Jamie, 15-8. Favourite was back in third.
Bet Clever. Bet Goodwin. Proud sponsors of Gone to the Dogs.
Just confirming tonight's winners. I think they turned the lights off already. I was like, what is that scene? We have got New in Benny, No Better Feeling, Fay Point Susie, De La Dee Da, Fay Point Harvey, Keyfield Goose, Solo Mio, Dynamic Force, Romeo Empire, Slick Sentinel and Slingshot Sam. Joe, who was your highlight?
It's got to be De La Dee Da, Danny. I know we lost, obviously, the other boss from that in the race and he didn't qualify, but to see De La Dee Da do that again, 28.50, his first run back, a bit of pressure on when the Derby, the reigning champion, comes back. So to do what he's done was an absolute sensational run. So it's got to be the highlight of the night. But we've seen 11 fantastic performances again from the winners. We've seen some huge runs in defeat, especially Balimat Lucia getting as close as she has to Romeo Empire in that way was a massive, massive run. So a great night's action. I'm gutted I'm not here tomorrow, I must say. But we're really getting stuck into this now, and I can't wait to watch the racing tomorrow. But it's been a brilliant night. I've loved it down here. The people have been great to talk to, and you've done a great job in there as well.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, he's done a great job interviewing people all evening in what wasn't quite as cold weather as yesterday, so I think he's lucked out a little bit this evening. But
are you judging that on the lack of a scarf, or
and a flat cap, and yeah. De La Dee Da, obviously, probably everybody's highlight really this evening. But away from the champ, who would be yours?
I mean, there were so many. I could go back to Sing-Along Molly getting beaten, but take that Greyhound away. I think, again, we've just seen lots of different performances tonight, lots of different traps winning, very fair track, as I've said many times. But you know what? The Derby may be well underway, but there are some trainers, of course, who've yet to have a runner in the Derby. So Brian Fairbairn has got one more tomorrow, so he's got to come back for his second runner. Poor old Ted Soppit waits to heat 32 to have his only runner in the Derby. Now, in a way, that's quite a good thing, isn't it? Because I suppose a lot of dogs have already been eliminated. You're still in the competition, even though you've not run. But I was just scanning through tomorrow night. I mean, we've got Barntic Bear tomorrow night, of course, we're looking forward to seeing. Droopy's Plunge, Table Toppers out tomorrow. Headford Asher, who's been so well touted for Maxine. So lots of stars still to come onto the racetrack tomorrow.
Bombay Pat still to come.
Bombay Pat I missed on my scroll through, but yeah, lots to come tomorrow, lots to play for.
Very excited to see what's going to happen with Barntic Bear for me tomorrow, because of course he is the track record holder. He's got 28.44 from last year, so obviously we've seen that almost go this evening with De La Dee Da. It'll be great to see how the track is running tomorrow. We usually get a feel for it over the first couple of races. I will say we have had one Trap 4 winner now, so the Trap Challenge, Trap 4 is off the mark. We've had one with No Better Feeling earlier on, but quickest time of the night, 28.50, quickest split of the night, De La Dee Da with a 3.95 split. I think I've not seen a quicker
no, I haven't.
So far.
I think actually the British have gone to the front, because Ireland led 10-8, and courtesy of 2 wins from Patrick Janssens, and that one we've just seen. British runners have won the last 3, so overnight it's 11-10.
Come on. Right, so we have got one more night of round 1 action to come. That starts at 6:15 tomorrow, but we are going to be previewing it in our little preview show to give you a taster of what's to come at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So make sure you join us then. Thank you for watching.